G'day everybody, we are back for another week of the VCS. I, of course, am Everyday. With me, as is tradition, is Yulwei. How are you today, man? Ready for another week?
Hello, hello. Absolutely. We are actually the most up-to-date Asian league, so
Yeah.
get off that LCK stream. This is the most up-to-date league. If you want to watch the newest Asian League of Legends, you have to come to us. We're in week 2, everyone else is still in week 1. So
Exactly.
get over here.
Vietnam just deciding that they're not going to let any sickness slow them down. They're going to get through their season dead on time. Got to praise them for it. So, we've got obviously 2 series tonight, but we'll start with talking about our first one. Cerberus taking on VGA. Who have you got for this one and why? We do all have our predictions available.
So yeah, coming into the season last week, we would have probably all gone with Cerberus, right? So Cerberus was actually quite hyped up, as Jensen talked about them potentially breaking into top 3 even, and looking at being a playoff teams for sure for Spring Split. But after seeing them getting ultra stomped by GAM, I think a lot of people have lost a little bit of faith. And also, Adonis actually looked quite good in the first series, right? So I predicted 2-1 Adonis. I'm not too sure. I think this could go either way. We could just see a 2-0 for Cerberus as well. So very unsure about this one. But I liked Adonis's first look, especially how coordinated their team looked.
Yeah, I think you might have to check because I think I forgot. I think I predicted 2-1 Cerberus because I do think Adonis can definitely take a game. They looked good. I don't want to read too much into Cerberus getting trashed by GAM. I think GAM is going to trash a lot of people.
It's a very fair assessment, yeah.
And I don't think that necessarily should write you off as a team. But we'll have to see if they can bounce back. It's going to be important. One thing to comment on for Cerberus, because it hasn't been a constant throughout the league, is how good their drafts have been. A good draft is a very good foundation for success.
Yeah, we started 10-1 last week, which was a little bit of a surprise. But yeah, Cerberus, I like their priorities a lot, even though they got stomped in 2 games. They drafted meta champs all around. We had Set and Mordekaiser in the top lane, J4 in the jungle, the strongest jungler, as most of the junglers say right now. Senna twice in the bot lane, Tom Kenji in the bot lane, which is, I guess, meta, which is not great to hear, but okay, it's a fine pick. And then Yado in the mid lane went with Cass and Ori, which are stables right now in the meta as well. So nice drafting from Cerberus. Maybe they can actually get something out of their nice drafts against a weaker team compared to GAM.
Yeah, do we think we're going to be on 10-2 tonight? They're showing a preview of all the balance changes. We're definitely on 10-2, which I think is good. I'm very happy to hear that, because being on 10.1 last week was very strange. So with 10.2, how much do you think the priority changes? Do you think Senna has kind of fallen off a cliff because of the soul change?
No, the soul change was on 10.3, right?
Oh, was Senna, it? Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. 10.3 is what's live, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, because I played Senna yesterday and was very upset because I didn't know it had gone live.
You need to play a support now. But yeah, we saw a little bit of a priority shift in LEC when they changed from 10.1 to 10.2, from week 1 to week 2. Senna rose even higher in priority because Aphelios got a little nerf. He's still very strong and should probably still be pick and ban.
Yep.
But Senna even higher in priority. But we have seen the Asian leagues actually don't favor Senna too much, especially LCK. Actually went a few days without Senna.
Yep, but we are
already
in Champion Select.
Into Champion Select.
That we are. So, coming in quickly as the stream has decided to kill its quality. Just give me one moment. Set being banned out by Adonis, followed by Lee Sin and Gangplank removed by Cerberus. A little bit interesting already, I think.
Yep. And we have to talk about, I know you hate it, you know I love it, the potential Soraka top lane, which I don't really expect.
I hate playing against it. I'm happy to watch it.
You wouldn't actually ban Set as Soraka top. It's a super easy matchup for Soraka. Set can't do anything.
That's completely free.
Yeah, I don't really expect the Soraka on Adonis' side, sadly.
Oh, but yeah, Akali open. Another mistake, in my opinion. 10-2, she's still strong. Those nerfs... Yeah, the nerfs aren't in 10-2. They're in 10-3.
10-3, yeah. That's correct.
So, Akali, still completely broken. Has been picked up. I think that's a huge mistake. I think you ban Akali before set 100% of the time. Answered by Ryze and Xayah. Xayah highest priority AD carry here for Vid.
Yeah, already not a big fan of Adonis' drafting strategy.
Yep.
They are not going for too many high priority picks. They gave up the Akali to get what? Ryze and Xayah? Why? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Nope.
Cerberus could now assemble Jungle and Aphelios or something here. Okay, they actually don't want to go with J4 again. Instead, go with one of Zhu Hao's favorites, which is Rek'Sai. Nice to see as well.
Yep,
so
I'm fine with that.
Leona as well. Okay, now they have to be a little bit fearful of the Braum.
Yeah, they might be making a call that VGA wants to go Xayah Rakan. But if that's the case, I'm not sure you need to pick Leona there. I still think this is a time where you could lock away the Aphelios or the Senna, or even the Misfortune. So picking Misfortune without also picking Braum is super dangerous, and it would have blown up in their face. I like that from VGA. I think the Braum's a good pick.
Especially now they blocked one of the 3 ADCs still available. You talked about Aphelios, Senna, and MF. Now with Braum, you actually want Cerberus to pick MF, so you can actually ban away the Aphelios and Senna and have a stronger... Wow, okay, Adonis.
Okay. That's a bad ban.
That's it.
that is such a wasted ban. She was never ever good. If they don't ban Aphelios, I mean, they can't ban both the other OP ADCs. They could have had a situation.
I think they'll let Senna open. Looks like they don't value Senna too highly.
I mean, that might be what they do. I don't think it's correct, though. Aphelios will hit the bench, as has Olaf. The jungle pinch from Cerberus makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely, yeah. Elise and Baum? He's already banned in first phase, so... Elise, Lee Sin, Gragas, Olaf banned, Rek'Sai picked. The tier list is already pretty much done.
Diddly.
So we'll have to see what Y1 can go for.
I mean, Jarvan, it's still up, right?
Oh, that's true.
Jarvan's
they
up.
They actually want to force Adonis into Jarvan.
Or he's going to go the Trundle. It is buffed on this patch. It's good into
against
Leona.
No tank?
Leona.
That's questionable. Is she...
It's actually... No, because you get her with her Aftershock.
Aftershock, yeah. You have to wait for Aftershock, and the best case, you want to wait for Aftershock and Stoneplay to activate, and then you actually get the tank stats you would expect from a normal tank.
Yeah, I don't necessarily mind the pick. I like it. It's a bit of a 10.2 one. Oh my.
Oh my god.
Senna open, Kai'Sa picked.
So we are back to 2019 here. We have Xayah, Kai'Sa in the bot lane. Everyone knows this matchup. Please never show us the bot lane. We are not interested.
No, we are not. And the top lane is potentially going to be this Renekton, and it is. So that's actually an Akali mid.
Interesting choice. Had to blind pick either solo lane, so went with a top lane blind pick, which is a little bit surprising considering the enemy team is still not picked the top lane.
I think the Ornn's a better pick here than the Aatrox. Just go Spellbook Ornn.
Like both, I have to say. Okay. I like both picks. Both are fine. Aatrox gives a little bit more damage in team fights, especially mid and later stages of the game, compared to the Ornn, who still has a lot of has very high base damages, right? So
I just don't know
will
if
come
they
in
needed
2 items.
I'm not sure if they needed the extra damage, is why I like the Ornn. You've already got Ryze and Xayah. I don't think you're really hurting for damage. I think the big thing is you want to be able to keep Renekton, Akali, and Rek'Sai off your carries, but in the end, the Aatrox can kind of do well. Not a bad pick.
Yep, I agree. But you already have a tank in frontline, so you don't actually need the frontline from Ornn. What would have been nice for with an Ornn pick is better engage, right? So
yeah.
That's the main reason I'd say Chip's very, very good performance on the Ornn last week as well. He got the MVP, the very first MVP for his team, went over to Chip. And his Aatrox performance wasn't too great, so that's actually an argument for him to pick Ornn. He was subbed out after the Aatrox game. Yeah. Interesting to see if he can recover. The substitute top laner Django came in for him and had an Aatrox game on his own, and he actually performed very well on the Aatrox.
Yeah, I feel like Aatrox is one of those picks, though, that every top laner in the world has to know at this point. And we did see the fan vote there pretty close, 59% towards Cerberus. People definitely recognizing that VGA are no joke at this point. That's good. And I'm just going to put us over to another screen just to get one thing ready with production. I do. But we are potentially going to game very soon. Here we are. So we've seen the comps here. Based purely on composition, who are you favouring here? I think it's tricky because there's weird picks on both sides.
That is very, very true. I kind of like the Adonis's comp more personally, but I think both comps are okay, and you can definitely win with both comps. We have a little bit of an earlier spike, especially in top side for Cerberus. They have Kaiser, who needs a lot of time, so there's a little bit of bad balance in this team composition, I'd say. You need to get ahead to have a big impact on the game. Zhu Hao needs to do something early as well, but then you have that Artemis who can't really team fight before 2-3 items. So if Cerberus is to win this game, they have to play through top lane and LL snowballs this one, while Artemis comes online later on in the game and then follows up in team fights, I'd say. So I'd like to see Yado and Zhu Hao focus on the top side. As you said, maybe the On with Spellbook would have been the more safe pick in the top lanes, the safer pick. So that's a good approach.
Yeah, potentially. Tricky to really know that. I'm curious to see what this Trundle's going to do. Because, yeah, the only tank stats to steal is the Aftershock Leona. Oh no, are we getting the first ticks of production issues? Not great. Well, it's not as bad as last week, though. We do see Y1 starting off on the top side. Interesting to start on the top side there. I actually would have thought a bot side start makes more sense because you would read that Zhu Hao's much more likely to be on the top side, and I think you want to be there to counter.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe he wants to actually. He actually wanted to invade you. That's interesting. So tries to go for a complete map split, which then can actually be good for your top lane as well, right? If you get complete control over the top side of the jungle, the enemy jungler doesn't really have any incentives to go top side, so might actually be a very good call for VGA as well to just dominate the top side jungle.
Yeah, potentially. The question here is, does Zhu Hao know that he is going to have to go into vertical jungling? It seems he does.
Yeah.
Y1 coming towards this mid lane. Nothing to get though.
Bought a lot of time for his top
lane.
lane.
Hang on. PHT does have a jungler to fall back to. Will Zhu Hao read that that's what he's doing? Yep, they will. Okay. Do have a little bit of stream stutter. Sorry about that.
So the Zhu Hao wasn't too trigger happy there. It's good to see, because if he flashed double lead on the enemy Ryze, he could have been dead there. So read the situation well, as you said as well. He has to be aware that the enemy jungler is around top side as well. So nice read, a nice restraint from Zhu Hao as well. No flash engage, and PHT came away very well from the trade, but he used a lot of mana, so he probably has to invest a little bit of time now. Go back to base, get this tier. He has teleport though, so he can
did,
definitely.
His recall did get interrupted though, so I think he has to TP now. He could have potentially walked back to lane when it was pushed
That's
in.
That's a good call.
But
it's a very good call.
Good interrupt there by Yado.
I'm also not sure if 19 CS is actually enough to build the tier. Yeah, it is. So you got at least one cannon there. 19 CS is quite close to 850. You actually don't need the 850, right? He started Ruby Crystal, so that's only 500 gold. So,
yeah. And up in the top lane, Chip doing a lot of damage here, fending that gank off easily. We were just talking about economics, but it was very well done there by Chip, starting himself out very well in this game.
Yeah, 1-2 more points in Q, and he would have been able to kill the enemy jungler here. Just the cooldown preventing him from doing so, but nice counter play against the enemy jungler, who now has to recall as well. So he actually bought himself a few minutes time.
Yeah, absolutely. Very,
still
very
flash
well
available though, so it's still dangerous up there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that danger doesn't really go away for a long time.
Nope.
Rek'Sai, Renekton, it doesn't really matter how well you can fend them off once or twice. They'll come back a third time and they'll be just as strong. So it is going to be down to Y1. Oh, good damage there by Chip, getting that third sweet spot. Unfortunately, this isn't translating into even CS, as he is still 11 down. LL opting to
Yeah.
get a recall in, though.
Yeah, now he doesn't have to TP back to lane, while Chip might have to TP. No, he actually can walk back to lane as well. I'm not sure if he wants to. Might just use the
Looks like
TP to get a little bit of an experience advantage, but it seems like both top lane is still walk back to lane, so we might actually see a little bit of TP action with level 6 coming in very soon.
Ooh,
for
in the
top
mid
laners as
lane,
well.
we've actually got a bit of a fight here. PHT's caught out. Yado in the shroud, doing
No
what he
mana.
can. And he will go down there. The final Q. Akali cleaning that one up, picking up first blood. An absolute boon for Yado, who was behind in CS, but is now up in gold.
Yeah, nicely done. Finally, Zhu Hao invested his flash and got the first kill. Very important thing to do on the Rek'Sai. First flash needs to translate into
We've got the
kill.
second gank coming in here. Y1 coming in. Rono P has
Oh,
dove forward. The
Vegas.
teleports are coming. Chip is here. I assume that's going to be LL following up. Yes,
Another
it is.
one.
So much damage, but Rek'Sai's arrived. He burns down. Artemis gets that kill, and oh no, it's all gone wrong. Yado's
It's
here.
chaos.
He's picked up a kill, and it'll be Chip going down as well. 3 kills for Cerberus. An absolute disaster in the bot lane.
Yep, 4 early on in the game, more than 2k gold, and they haven't even touched the turrets yet. So, oof, what a great start for Cerberus. After getting stomped 2 games in a row, they actually had the lowest gold difference at 15, or the least gold at 15, with almost minus 6,000 gold at 15 minutes against GAM. So this is definitely a redeeming series here for Cerberus, and the start is perfect.
Yep, that was not great, and it will reward them with a Mountain Drake. Not the most important Drake, but it is nice to get your Drake counter ticking up, as I believe that was an Infernal Drake that was spawned. Timer confirms. So, now that this has happened, this is really bad for Chip in the top lane. That's a Renekton with 3 assists.
Yeah, also Akali with 2 kills, which is not great for the Ryze in the mid lane either. So we see this again, the level 4 jungler. Still on this patch, we have jungle experience, very low jungle experience, I should say. So level 4 jungler is not too sturdy, can't use his ultimate, so goes down very quickly, even flashed away. So now Y1 actually a very bad spot overall in the game.
Yep.
Then all the other players from Cerberus came in staggered TP is very interesting there. I think they just wanted to prevent the play at first, and then actually saw an opportunity and followed up with everyone.
Yeah,
Worked
I
out
mean,
for them.
it was also a pretty big mistake there by Adonis to go for that play when you had a disadvantage with TP in the mid lane. Yado was able to go to that play, and PHT had absolutely nowhere to respond, so it was just a 4v3. And they got really punished.
Kill the support a little bit quicker, but it's Leona, right? Leona Aftershock, she doesn't go down. So.
Ooh, in the mid lane, there's something cooking up here. Rono P's here. Yado goes forward, gets the tag with the E. PHT, you have no chance. Rono P just saying, I'm helping, I'll have that gold, thank you. Akali, you've got enough.
Clean kill, though. Nice,
yeah, very clean.
Especially from Yado. Nice Akali play. And now the game looks very, very dire for VGA. They need to stall out this game a lot to have a chance.
Look at the top lane. LS has a tear of pride running down his face. He sees this freeze. Oof, this is very hard to break.
Yeah, it's very hard for them to actually do anything about it, as you just said, because they lose every 2v2 right now. The Trundle ult onto Renekton is actually not too bad. He gets a lot of extra HP.
Oh, so here we go. This could be potentially a bit of a counterplay here. LL is trying to take the 1v1. Chip goes into the ult, but Rek'Sai is lurking. So much damage being done to LL, though. Can they kill him? No, Dominus will be used. And Zhu Hao just there to cover, to make sure there's no forward play. Ooh, LL, though, he says, I want the forward play, is getting knock-up chained here, but Zhu Hao comes back to say, God damn it, man, I was trying to leave. Oh, now PHT is here. We get another bit of an extended play. LL surely will go down eventually, and he does, but Chip is going to go down. No, he's not. Triumph will save him. And that's 2 kills picked up for VGA. Step 1 of the comeback.
Yep. They overestimated their strength there, Cerberus that is, especially LL. way too aggressive. Could have just backed off. As you said, Joao was very annoyed with the top laner.
Yeah.
He just wanted to leave, and then in the end he left, but with a gray screen. Not great. Doesn't feel too great.
He got back very quickly.
Now, kill for both solo laners on the side of VGA, so a little bit of hope. They are still behind almost 2k gold, though, at 10 minutes, so just a drop in the ocean at the moment, but they can build on this, hopefully.
Yeah, they can. Unfortunately, it hasn't really shut down the two more important points of power, which is the Kai'Sa and the Akali. It's great. You get your top lane a little bit more even, but Chip is still behind because of the assist and the CS lead, and it's still a 2-0 Akali, and it's still a 2-0 Kai'Sa. So they've got a long road left to go, but it's good to see them kind of starting the car, seeing if the engine turns over.
Yeah. I mean, at least the engine got a few more cylinders. I'm not sure if that works, but got a little bit stronger.
Yeah, this was just they overstayed.
Nice enough for PHT. I really liked how PHT approached this dive. He actually took the turret aggro, so allowed his top laner and jungler to go a little bit deeper under the turret, then backed off again to lose turret aggro, while the top and jungle still approached the enemy, but didn't actually damage them, so they could set up all the position as they wanted. Nicely played. Good micro from PHT there.
Yep, good to see that he's not too tilted after getting off to quite the bad start. It's now got 1 and 2. Good to get this Rise back into the game. Obviously a super big scaling threat. Bit of an obvious statement, I know, but still worth saying. If it does come down to scaling, I think Adonis is actually in a pretty good position. So they could potentially stall this out.
As I said when you asked me about the team compositions, I think both definitely have good ways of winning the game, but Adonis is the stronger late game comp, and Cerberus a little bit too disjointed in terms of scaling. Top lane and jungle are very weak in the later stages of the game, especially into Rise. Both champs struggle into Rise in team fights. So yeah, I like VGA's comp later on, but with the gold lead right now, I think Cerberus is still fine. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are trying to snowball it, but the team fight has been called. Dragon goes down. Chip is here. They're going as hard as they can onto Yado, but that's an Akali. Ron P will be the first one to go down. Yado now in the middle of the enemy team, and he gets cleaned up. This is so many kills for VGA. That. They are absolutely smashing this fight. Artemis goes down, and it's a 4-0.
And a triple kill for Wit, who's right back into the game. And look at Adonis's gold. They are ahead now.
Yep, absolutely.
Crazy.
The gold is dead level now. Oh my god.
I really like this Aatrox play so far from Chip, even though I criticized him for last week's Aatrox, which frankly didn't look too great. Today, very good Aatrox performance so far. Great flanks and nice utilization or teamfight prowess just on the queue. So very impressed with him, even though he's struggling in lane, but that's kind of to be expected in this matchup. It's not too easy to play this one.
That's a hard matchup. Shelly has been summoned. She's got a bit of a trek in front of her. Not ideal, obviously, was going to expire. So hopefully Artemis can walk her in to get a charge. Based on the map state, I actually do think she'll charge.
Yeah.
But
looks like Wit really wanted the reset to his gold. So actually very nice play from Cerberus. It's a very minor thing, but it's still nice to see. They knew that Wit wanted to go back to base, and Wit overextended a little bit in lane to get a plating. So now they'll punish him with 3 platings on the side for the side of Artemis' bot lane. Maybe even 4 platings if they're able to lock this last one down as well.
I think they quite will be able to. Bob going forward here, really pushing them back, and then the Xayah wave clear should come in, but there's a lot of Cerberus on the side here. They should call this off now that Y1's here. The tower will go down though, and Ron OP will go in. Leona ult being used, as is the stopwatch. The Cerberus boys are coming in. It's 5 Cerberus in the bot lane. Oh no, this Kai'Sa is about to do so much damage. Ron OP will get the first kill. Zhu Hao will get the second and the third. And it's swinging back the other way. It's their look. Maybe it's just the time of year they miss their dads, so they're just out the back playing catch with each other, just throwing a ball back and forth.
This game has been quite ridiculous in the first 40 minutes.
Yep.
Good plays on both team sides, but they are not reading the enemy team correctly. They are playing their own game pretty much, so actually setting up dives and plays for their own team very nicely, but the reaction to the enemy team is lacking. So we get a lot of kills and a lot of gold on all the carries, which should lead to a very accelerated game, which should, in theory, favor VGA, as we talked about scaling a little bit. So still now a big advantage for Cerberus in terms of gold, and they have 2 dragons as well, so they could actually try to play through Dragon Sword here. They have a strong ADC. Their mid laner is in a very good spot right now as well. So next dragon in 2 minutes, we could see the soul secured at 22 minutes.
Yeah, worth mentioning, it is that Cloud Soul, which is pretty good for Akali. Not so much, like, the burst of movement speed, it's irrelevant because Akali is so slippery anyway. That doesn't matter, but I love the ult cooldown. 20% ult cooldown for Akali, you get a lot of value out of that because it's a strong cooldown.
Yeah.
So definitely
it's also pretty good on. I mean, Cloud Soul is a little bit of a weird one, right? Because a lot of people talk about it as if it's bad, but it's super great to have, right? You never feel bad having a Cloud Soul. It's just compared to the other souls, especially to Ocean Soul, feels a little bit weak. But yeah, there are a lot of champs who profit from having this Cloud Soul. Ron OP can follow up with a lot of movement speed. LL just activating one button to run fast at the enemy is almost like having Ghost for the Renekton here. So very nice to have that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. As we do see Chip trying to take down this tower down there, but will have to get away from LL. W usage, but it didn't really matter. I feel like he might have just been sort of autopiloting, and it will be Shirley up in the top lane, getting Yado some gold. This Akali's getting even further ahead, because Y1 and LL fight over some Krugs, clearly the more important objective. No one needs to go stop Yado. He's still got Shirley.
No one. This might actually be the turret straight up, because
Yado doesn't want it. They're setting up for a team fight. Yado's rotating. He's been on a ward though, they should know.
Alright, still a lot of damage on the turret, and there are pings coming in from VGA, who seem to want to defend the top lane turret. Quite sad Yado actually didn't try to go for the split push there. Of course, he doesn't have his TP available, and they're too scared about losing the dragon, so understandable, but they could have definitely secured this turret kill.
Yeah, absolutely, and it will be possibly them losing the dragon anyway, as Adonis has started it up. Zhu has close enough to go for the steal. Tags with the Prey Seeker, but they're not going to go in. They should be able to retreat easily back into their own jungle. I think what happened with Yado...
That is a very good sign for VGA.
Absolutely. I think what happened with Yado was they were making the call to collapse around the mid-tower push, but he got spotted on a ward and you could see the moment of hesitation where all of VGA was backing off because they saw the Akali. But never mind, as the TP is coming in, PHT instantly locked up into so much CC. Chip goes down immediately. Yado now doing so much damage, trying to do the business as Akali.
One can't enter the fight.
It's just a 1-for-0.
Yeah, big struggle for Y1 to impact the fight there. He didn't have his flash available, so he was stuck behind the terrain.
They're going to try and continue this. Y1 being chased off, does get caught by Ron OP. Ron OP maybe doesn't want to be there, though. He does manage to retreat to the safe arms of Artemis. They get the mid-tower.
But they still get the turret. Yep. And now 4k gold lead for Cerberus. They've grown the lead a little bit. Losing the dragon is not great for the team composition. They want to activate especially the Elder Dragon as fast as possible. To have another win condition, but yeah, they at least accelerate the goal even more. Now the next 10 minutes are very important for Cerberus. They should basically knock at the Nexus doors, and then at the end of the next 10 minutes. So first steps need to be taken. Get a little bit of vision control. Try to control the Baron area, as now Dragon has lost a lot of priority, and you have a lot of Baron damage, especially with Artemis finishing 2 items already.
Yeah, absolutely. Artemis will shred Baron. Absolutely. And has a massive lead here over Vit. Despite Vit getting those 3 kills, he's about half an item behind. Not going to be able to finish anything with that recall. So if they want to fight, it's a very good time to. Tyson will be outputting a lot more damage than Xayah.
PHT also not on big items.
This is just
right
Chip
now.
Getting caught. Yeah, that's
Chip
what happens.
took the wrong path.
Yep, he didn't have vision.
You can see very good pink ward there as well from the side of Cerberus, spotting the backside of the
Oh, here we
movement.
go, though. Another fight here in the jungle. We do have the knock-up going in.
Oh,
Down
Zhu Hao.
goes Rek'Sai. Zhu Hao is instantly dead. Chip has arrived, but he's very far away. He's just going to be here to push the wave in. A free kill for Adonis, and it should lead to a tower.
Yeah, Cerberus needs to be careful. They are still ahead. They have 2 dragons as well, but they need to be careful looking at the scaling. We've seen yesterday, LS talked about this a lot on the LCK broadcast. There were teams winning games that were playing way worse than the enemy team just because of scaling.
Scaling
even though
is
the scaling,
very strong.
yeah. I mean, there are still ways to win late game team fights for Cerberus, right? LL is still quite tanky, especially Ron, very tanky as he got a lot of the early kills. Even as a bounty on top of him. And Akali. That said, Akali into Rice and Zaya is not easy to play in teamfights.
Oh no,
Braum
it's not
well.
easy, but it's still Akali on 10.2.
Yeah.
Yado could definitely do some magic even in the late game. Left unchecked in a fight. You are right, though, that the comp VGA has assembled is probably one of the better comps you could have against Akali. Unless you had like a twist.
Also, once again, not happy with the item Artemis aside. Once again, going for the old 2019 AP focused.
Ooh, PHT caught out here. Yado doing a lot of damage. Goes into the Shroud. Rek'Sai ult will be used as well. And bang, there goes the execution. Cut him in half. Y1 now has the ultimate running. Stole stats from Zhu Hao. Can they hunt him down? No. Just some damage and Yado backing off.
Another kill for Kali, which is not a great sign for VGA.
And Baron is immediately started. I do agree with you, the point you were making, though. I don't think the AP Kai'Sa was necessary. You had enough AP damage with Akali.
So there is a reason to go AP Kai'Sa. It's the stronger 3-item build. Will lose out again compared to the more crit focused item build on 4 items, 5 items, but 3 items. This is the strongest possible build for Kai'Sa, right? She gets all 3 evolutions. She's super strong in the mid game, so I kind of understand. Cerberus making the call. We need to accelerate this game. We need to win this game while we are still ahead. So go for the strongest item possible right now.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good call. It's just less safety, less of a safety net for the later game. So they need to win now. But they got the Baron, so very good first step, and they should set up the next team fight. Maybe even on PHT, he doesn't have a flash available, so it should be a relatively easy target.
Dragon Spawner Yado does have teleport to join this fight, but at the moment it's VGA with vision priority, and as I say it, that completely flips. As Cerberus move in, it looks like VGA will just be giving this one up.
Yeah, and they can.
They can, but it's a rough decision, and it looks like maybe they're changing their mind. Pillar is being used. Y1 rushing forward. So much damage onto LL. Dominus already used. The Glacial Fisher comes out. Yado now moving in, completely zoning them. Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to Season 10. The Dragon getting very low here. The Junglers both in the pit. Zhu Hao will
TP,
take
TP,
that one. Here we go. LL coming back with full health. The Realm Warp is going absolutely nowhere. PHT takes so much damage. The Kai'Sa ult is up. Could potentially dive back there, but maybe thinks a little bit better of it. And it's going to be no kills, but the Dragon for Cerberus.
Yeah, nice effort for VGA. Sadly, in the end, they still lose the Dragon and got the...
Ooh, and they've lost the inside track.
Absolutely.
They're going to lose this tower.
No Baron recall, so that means they will just straight up lose this turret and Dragon, which is okay to give up for VJ. Not great, obviously, but still on Baron time. So if they can defend the next 1 minute of Baron still running on Cerberus, they are fine right now. But it's still a big gold lead now building up.
6k gold.
Even the scaling can't make up for 6k right now.
Yeah, we need to see VGA somehow just absolutely stonewall them, probably at the inhibitor turrets potentially. I don't think defending the inners is going to be a very profitable move. As they all are heading up to the top side, potentially want to get this outer turret, collect a little bit of standing gold. This won't be contested from Cerberus. This is pretty free.
Yeah, good move. We see pinks from Cerberus now coming out on the inhibitor turret in the mid lane. Don't think they have the time to prepare the waves. Or
Chip is back. Chip can clear the initial wave. Don't defend this inner tower, though. Defending this inner tower is a death trap.
This is, as you said, very dangerous, especially with Ron OP being this tank. He can just tank the turret forever and let his 2 carries do the work in terms of
It
damage.
really needs to back off. There's long range engage here. Gets out before anything happens. They do just lose the inner turret, but as I said, I think losing that tower is actually good for Adonis because now they won't be tempted to defend it.
Yep, that's a good call. Still 6k gold lead and the next dragon in 3 minutes, so it's still a very clear path to victory for Cerberus. It's a little bit later than they wanted it to be, right? They wanted to get the last elemental dragon at 22, 23 minutes. Now it's more at 26, 27, so Elder Dragon not before 30 minutes. There will be a chance for VGA to fight back, but the odds definitely in favor of Cerberus.
Yeah, absolutely. We may not, it potentially doesn't need to go to the Elder Drake. I think a very likely course of events is Cerberus will pick up that final Cloud Drake, and then there will be a catastrophic fight around Baron, and they can win off that. Of course, it's on VGA to not give them that catastrophic fight.
Yeah. So right now, I'd really like to see VGA funnel all into Xayah. She really needs to IE for the next fight. If she can complete IE before the next important fight, maybe even a little bit more crit, there is a chance she can carry the fight, right? Ryze is quite strong. He's still 2 levels off from his big power spike, level 16, extra damage. So try to get experience on Ryze and try to get gold on Kai'Sa is the biggest objective now for VGA.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a bit of an interesting build coming in for Akali. Second item, Morellonomicon. Not sure how I feel about that one. Don't really think it's going to be super useful because it's not really going to be chip you're hitting very much. I understand you want to cut the healing of the Aatrox, but if Yado's hitting chip the whole fight, he's doing his job wrong.
Also, 2 items invested just to prevent healing from Aatrox. If you look at the gold invested just to get the heal reduction. To be fair, Rumble actually heals a lot as well in fights, so it's maybe also
Bundle, you mean?
Pointed at Y1's healing, so
yeah,
that's a call. But yeah, I agree. It's not the greatest item right now, and a little bit more penetration. Which, looking at her boots, she didn't actually go for the penetration boots, so
it's definitely not
the strongest possible itemization. No,
it's a shame because that doesn't help the scaling. No, IE picked up, as you very correctly point out, a huge power spike here for Vit. Could potentially start carrying fights. Not, oh no, but Y1's been caught out. There's the flash. Kai'Sa ult, though, will be used. Artemis gets that one. Chip in a lot of trouble. Zhu Hao's under him. There's the knock-up. Yado has the ult running, and down they go. Akali getting another kill. That's going to be Cloud Soul as it spawns in just 28 seconds. Could potentially also be an inhib tower.
Yep. I think it's better for Cerberus actually to straight up go for the inhib, especially for the bot lane inhib, as they had a wave in the bot lane already.
Yep. Well.
Free Baron, basically, with a Cloud Soul as well. So just go inhib, Dragon, and then Baron. Very easy way to play out this game. And now VGA is looking like the loser of the first game here. It's not a whole lot they can do anymore.
VGA had kind of, what had happened, the game, they'd been driving along the road and they kind of skidded off, scratched their car up in a ditch. It's not a good situation. Now a truck's hit them and they're just crushed against a tree. It's not pretty. I don't think they're going to be getting out of this one. It would be, VGA, they're going for the Desperation Baron play. Teleport has been called. Baron, fairly high health. Kai'Sa is not here and can't join the fight. Actually does have TP. Can join the fight. Cerberus now kind of on the wrong side of the tracks. They need to find their way out, but they should be able to fairly easily. There's the teleport. They're just going to go for the inside track on the inhib tower. Yado doing a lot of damage there to Y1. He's been caught out. There's a huge solar flare into the side of VGA. They're getting absolutely melted. Yado is going hog wild on the backside of their team. Biob now running out of his own base. Zhu Hao getting that kill there. Chip now will be the next one to go down. And that's an ace. And that's game 1 for Cerberus.
Nicely done. I really like how Cerberus played this one. They only sent 1 to the Dragon. We really don't need to send more than 1 person, especially if it's Kai'Sa to the Dragon. Okay. Whatever. He had the stopwatch. So I really liked how they played this last minute, or the last 2 minutes. They sent only Artemis to the Dragon, then went to contest the Baron, which was quite an obvious Hail Mary call for the other side. So nicely done. Then all the enemy carries were already surrounded, so very easy to get the last team fight with the big gold advantage as well. Cloud Soul, so it's easy to chase. Nicely done. Very good macro fundamentals in the end, shown by Cerberus, and a convincing victory. 28 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. That worked pretty much exactly how you want it to go for Cerberus. I was particularly impressed with that last passage play. You pointed it out when it was happening, was really good patience from Cerberus as they just let VGA push themselves into a funnel, and then they went when they had a chance. And that was a really good decision. Not something we always see in the VCS. A lot of VCS teams would smell blood, and just like a bull, they run at the red. But Cerberus just said, no, we don't need to take a bad fight. We just take the perfect fight, win the game. I really like it.
Absolutely. So the game was very crazy, right? We started out with way too many weird fights, ping-ponging the gold lead back and forth. But in the end, Cerberus looked like the stronger team, found more of the place, a little bit more of an early game focused draft, which is cool to see the early game focused draft winning. I really like to see that because it means the execution was on point, right? We can't win the game without good execution on an early game draft. So Cerberus looking like the stronger team in the first game, 28 minutes, as I said before. And Adonis, I think they need to go away from some of the drafting priorities. First time CHP didn't actually look too great. Not CHP, sorry, PHT, the mid laner on the rise.
Looked a little bit outclassed, but he was against an Akali. Yeah. That's so hard.
Yeah, their draft priorities were weird this game. They choose to let the Akali open and then answered with the Rice and Xayah first rotation, which I really don't agree with. So please just change up your draft a little bit and try again.
Yeah, they will be on blue side this time, so they should be able to potentially pick the Akali for themselves if it's left open, or even the Set, which, again, I understand that Set is very strong, but you do not need to ban him before Akali on 10.2. Yeah. Akali is much stronger. So yeah, I think potentially they could change up a few draft things. Definitely had a chance in that game if a few of those flip fights had gone their way. But unfortunately they didn't, and Cerberus walked away with a very convincing victory. Question is, though, who do you think for MVP?
It's a very hard call, actually. I am leaning towards Biob, I have to say. He had a good Leona game, found all the right engages, stole a few of the kills early on, but actually, that's actually not too bad if the Leona is your primary engager and tank. So she got super tanky and there was no chance for the enemy team to kill her. So she zoned a lot in team fights, hit all the solar flares, as I said before. Yeah, I think Biob deserves it.
I particularly want to point out that massive solar flare in the game-winning fight was just a cherry on top. It was probably already going to be a one fight, but you love to see it regardless. So yeah, I agree. Biob would be a good pick for MVP. So now the question becomes, can Adonis come back in game 2? We will find out in about 8 minutes. See if Cerberus can close it out, or if Adonis will bring us to a game 3. See you then, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
G'day, everybody. Welcome back to the second game, or the intro to the second game, here for Adonis versus Cerberus. Convincing game 1 for Cerberus. What can Adonis do to get back in this one?
Ben Akali would be a great first step. Please.
Yeah, please do. We'd definitely like to see it.
They should be on blue side, so maybe pick Akali is even better for them. So I don't expect Akali to be left open again. As we can see, Yado got the MVP on the official stream, which makes sense looking at his KDA, 6, 1, and 10. But it's also Akali, so
it was a good game.
I don't really like to give it to Akali or all two of them.
It's okay. This stream is all about prioritizing supports and junglers for MVP, even though last week we broke with our own trend and gave far too many ADCs.
ADC MVPs, yeah, but that's true.
Regardless, we're back to our roots.
He had a very good game, but a lot of Cerberus players did, so yeah, I think Biob definitely also a fine candidate for the MVP.
Yep, I definitely agree. So, other than just banning Akali, which I mean, theoretically, they shouldn't be the ones banning it this game. they will be on blue side. So it should be on Cerberus to ban it, Adonis to pick it if they can. What can Adonis do to get back into this one? I feel like picking Aphelios or picking Senna. We are going into Champion Select. A moment to reset the stream, and then we'll be good to go. There we go.
Yeah, also looking more at what actually happened in the game. First big play for Cerberus came in bot lane, right?
Yep.
The 2 teleport play where they answered the gank. So maybe a little bit more awareness of the teleport time for Adonis. They looked like a well-coordinated team, I should say, especially when they came back into the game with a few ping-pong plays on their side, where they got 4 or 5 kills. The one Dragon fight comes to mind especially.
Yeah.
They shut down the Akali, the Kai'Sa very well. So more of that, less of the getting caught by TPs would definitely help.
And there is the Akali ban. Despite being on blue side, Adonis does not want a repeat of last game. They've also removed the set. Cerberus has taken out Y1's Lee Sin and this Gangplank. I think they're reading into something that maybe we don't know. For the Pirate to be getting the constant bans. Now, the graphic is getting a little bit confused, as we do still have 2 more bans before any picks, we promise. Let's see what Adonis wants to remove here. All AD carries available.
So
no one's
we didn't
lost their
actually
ID
see
card.
Senna priority, right? So I think we were probably going to LCK meta where Aphelios and MF are highest priority ADCs, which is fine, I guess. I think Senna should be more highly valued, but we'll see. Maybe it develops a little bit more with teams watching all the other leagues.
Yep, potentially.
Very angry Coach Archie on stage.
He's cracking the whip. And Yasuo will be the final ban. Definitely interesting there. Obviously, the only time Yasuo has really played is with the Gragas. And I feel like the Gragas is the better ban, but there's the Elise instant pick there for Y1. Getting his priority. Highest priority is on the Elise.
That's a surprising one.
Priority.
I mean, I like the pick away Renekton to deny the Elise Renekton combo. I'd really like to see either Braum or favorite ADC pick here.
Ideally, Aphelios. I think Aphelios is pretty busted on this patch if you're not going to play Senna.
Yeah, I think if you want to play MF, you need to pick Braum here. If not, the enemy team can just respond with Braum Aphelios. This is not a bad pick either. It doesn't really need to happen right now. Could have just waited one more phase for Gragas. So there seems to be less of a priority on the ADCs as we've seen in the last game already.
And there's a ban that was missed. Lucian is available. I question not pairing it with a Braum because I think they have pretty unrivaled synergy. But Biob had a very good Leon again. Yeah, true. It could still very much could be a
PhD played it already. So
yep, that's true.
I'd like to see mid lane Lucian.
Cassiopeia is the mid laner for Cerberus. Yep, that should lock it out of the mid lane. It could still go top though. We haven't seen Chip play it, but he still absolutely could. Ornn now off the table.
See PHT taking it to the top lane, right? A
yeah,
little bit of solo lane swap arenas. You could go Ornn for Chip and put him into the mid lane, and then PHT with the Lucian going up into the top lane. But Ornn into Cassiopeia doesn't sound too fun either.
Well, thankfully, Cerberus have removed that option, as Ornn was their first ban of the second rotation. Thresh now gone by Adonis.
So, full bot lane, still not picked up for Cerberus.
Syndra being removed?
Yeah, she's back to being available, right?
Yep, she's enabled.
We had Syndra banned last week globally because it's 10-1. She was banned on 10-1.
So. She's banned. Yeah, the whole 10-1 patch, her and Lux were global banned. Lux not really relevant, but Syndra definitely. Very strong.
Yeah, the LEC, her priority on 10-2 was very high. We saw bot lane Syndras as well as mid lane Syndras as well. Multiple first rotation Syndra bans in the LEC as well. So.
Senna will see a ban here, so the team Adonis is aware that she does exist. They can see through the black mist and notice, oh, there's actually a champion there. Better ban it. We don't know what she does. Now we have to see what Cerberus will pick up here with the priority.
Is still open. What? Okay.
Aphelios and MF both open, and they're gonna pick Xayah. It's the
I'd like to see
VCS,
Aphelios here
boys.
for Vid.
The VCS
Aphelios
where...
plus Rumble would be a very, very good last rotation for Adonis.
Yep, but it won't happen because the picks are made up and the tiers don't matter.
Apparently, that's true.
And Mordecai's are
not
being hovered.
still good for Aphelios to be picked up.
Yeah,
Double
rough
AP plus
matchup.
Mordekaiser.
Rough matchup into Renekton, but he should be okay. Oh, good lord.
Also double AP topside now, so it's not easy to gank the Renekton early on. Luckily not triple
What?
AP. We could still see the triple AP happen.
It hasn't been locked in yet. Oh, and there is the MF hover, which would say it is going to be the Lucian mid lane. I like
Why
that.
not Aphelios?
I don't know why not Aphelios.
What
I
is
think
going on?
10.2, I think MF and Aphelios are reasonably similar in power level.
Yeah,
So if
that's
Vit
fair.
is more comfortable on MF, I actually don't mind that.
But you
if you're
can see what happens if you pick MF, right? So
and then you just get
there
bombed.
it is.
Yep, you're just getting brawmed. That's the big mistake.
I question the Thresh ban. If you want to pick up the MF, just ban the Braum, honestly. A little bit weird to see. So now we have MF Leona, which is a long lane and its own, but they have to play against Braum, who count as both champs. So
definitely not fun. Braum does a
Not
lot against this comp, honestly. Blocks Lucian culling, Elise cocoons, bullet times, Leona engages. Very good support, Mr. Braum. I question banning Thresh over Braum, especially if you want to be.
this
picking
might
an
actually
MF.
be the reason they wanted to go Mordekaiser over Rumble top lane. Maybe they plan on just removing the Braum the team fights. We've seen
Possibly.
this a few times before, right? When Mordekaiser just ults the Braum and then MF, and Leona can wreak havoc and destroy everyone in the back line. So like to see the Mordekaiser focused Braum. There's a little bit of a problem with that, obviously. You remove the support and you remove your own top laner. So power difference might be a problem in terms of looking at items and just power levels, experience as well. First, we have to see if Chip can handle the top lane. As I said, very rough matchup into Renekton, one of the hardest for Mordekaiser. If it's not Soraka, who stomps Mordekaiser.
It's very true. Soraka is just a miserable matchup for most traditional top laners. Please get her out. I know you disagree, but as a top laner, get her out of my lane. I despise it, especially as a set one trick.
I actually don't really get the hate, because it's not like she's like Canon or think back to Lulu top lane.
Because
where
I
you
want to
actually
fight.
lost lane.
It's solo queue. I want to fight, and she won't fight me.
This argument actually does not make too much sense to me, because there are so many top laners you can't fight against, right? There's Darius, there's Ilaoi, there's Canon.
I'm fighting all of them. You kidding? I'm fighting Darius.
Canon?
I'm fighting. Okay, not Canon. Screw Canon.
Like Canon is so much more toxic.
I agree. Oh no, don't get me wrong. I agree, but Canon's not being played, and Soraka is.
Soraka just wants to have a little bit of fun to the lasted minions for once.
Fair enough.
Which is actually super hard to do on Soraka.
Yeah, it's a pain.
That
auto attack is horrific.
Yeah, it is.
Those bananas are not quick. We do,
which is actually great for support Soraka, because you can harass under turret, then run back to the middle of the lane before the auto attack actually hits. It's great. It's not great for last.
I end up using that. I've played it a few times to try it out. Ended up using Starfall to last hit fair bit, just to lock it in.
That happens.
But focusing on picks that actually are in this game, Yado has the Cassiopeia against Lucian, which is one of the best matchups into the mid lane Lucian, just because you can lock him down. I like the cleanse as well. It was very possible for Y1 to play around this mid lane. With the cleanse, much harder because the cocoon just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and Yado is a very crucial player for Cerberus this season. He has had a good start to the season. Obviously, he played against DR1 in the first series against Gam, and also a lot of assistance from Levi, and DR1 came back to lane with 3 kills from the top lane, so it wasn't too fun for him. He's still a very good mid laner in my opinion, and he showed a little bit of that in the first game. So let's see if he can actually bring Cerberus over the line and give them their first 2-0 of the season.
Yeah, we'll have to see, as the bot lane skirmishes have begun. A little bit of damage going both ways. Nothing either support will be writing home about, though. Won't be calling any doctors. As it looks like the early shove will go in the favour of Cerberus. The level 2 has been hit. Ooh, a little bit of a snare onto Vit. A lot of damage, but here comes the level 2 engage, though. Rono P has to flash. Didn't expect...
Did he have to flash? I don't think he had to flash.
He did flash. Is probably the better call.
He has heal as well, so no, he really didn't need to flash there. A little bit of a panic moment. Also, he is going shoulder guard, so yeah, he deserves to be flashed down.
I agree. That's terrible on Braum. Why are you going shoulder guards on Braum? I genuinely think the only support shoulder guards is good on his Pike. Shoulder guards is good on Pike.
I could see the argument for Thresh. I still feel like it's worse than Relic Shield, but on Braum, please don't.
Please. Y1 is down in this bot lane. Should be able to clear that ward up nicely. Leaves his own little zombie ward as well to make sure his bot lane have vision, at least temporarily. And Chip being shoved in. This is the matchup. Welcome to Mordekaiser versus Renekton.
Yeah, should be able to last it all the...
Ooh, not if he's getting harassed.
This last sitting. Yeah, maybe not the greatest last sitting.
Oh, but here we go in the bot lane. Rono P a little bit caught out. His 80 carry had backed off and he was still so far forward. Rono P, what are you doing, son? I'll tell you, he's dying to Vit.
Yeah, great play also from Y1. Immediately invested to lock down the kill. Nice to see a lot of decisiveness from the jungler. Flash Cocoon basically flashed on top of him, so Cocoon was almost point and click.
Yep, pretty much.
Nicely done. Good execution, and no idea what Rono P did there. As you said, rightfully, why was he even on lane? There was no reason for him to be.
Should have been roaming or backing with his AD carry, or at least just chilling under tower getting XP.
He wanted to hold the minions, right? But don't do that too far out, especially not without a flash available. It's just a little foolish play. Yeah, look at this. He doesn't even need to hold the minions. Minions are pushed in.
Yeah. This was
There's absolutely no reason for him to do this.
Just purely a mistake there, and it has given Vit the early lead, so can go back, grab the second Doran's Blade. The swords are assembling for Misfortune, as is tradition.
Yeah, and Artemis has given up on his support, has gone with the Cull early on, so he's telling his support, okay, you entered enough, I don't trust you anymore, I'll just take some creeps, scale up, see you in like 20 minutes.
I feel like that's really dangerous though against an Elise. Not getting any stats on your first recall. Elise could just come straight back. Rono P still doesn't have a flash.
Not even just Elise, like this bot lane has a lot of damage.
Absolutely.
If Rono P ever messes up field, you could insta-die level 6 against MF Leona Engage.
Yep, and we did see a little bit of a glimpse up in the top lane. It's not going well for Chip. He will get his first recall with only 28 CS to the 44 of LL. A little bit of that's the matchup, but LL looking like he's playing it pretty well, just based on those numbers, as Mordekaiser doesn't want to be that far behind.
Yeah, and we have a little bit of time, so we can talk a little bit about the players looking not only just at today, but more at what Cerberus wants to accomplish for the whole season. So we had Jensen talk to us, and he was very hyped about Cerberus, and one of the reasons was LL, right? He talked about LL being potentially the next big top laner. I forgot which team he was scouted on, but he was definitely of the opinion that LL is one of the best top laners in terms of mechanics and lane understanding as well. So we can definitely see LL doing well in lane most of the time. So it's exciting to follow him on his journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd like to see Cerberus rise up. I'd always like to see another big contender in the VCS break up the dichotomy at the top. Particularly if Garm. Ooh, the Cullings come out. A lot of damage onto Yado as he just loses half his health bar. Y1 is here. They could collapse onto him. PhD does have the good side. Uses that Relentless Pursuit. Dodges away from the Cassiopeia ult. And they're just going to steal a blue buff for their trouble.
Nicely done. PhD has to be careful to not fall behind in levels too far, because The enemy, his
Oh, here we
support
go.
and jungler were there.
The LL has been called in. Artemis charging forward. Can they lock
All
anyone
from one
down?
side though, no flank
There's
position.
a very nice cocoon onto Ron P, the only person that provided any CC. Well done.
Yeah, that don't quite like this CP from LL, I have to say. There's not the best, the engage options, I should say, are not too great from one side for Cerberus. They really need to look for flanks, right? And this ward was straight on top of all the other players from his team, so he actually didn't provide anything there. He was just coming in to secure the dragon, which I think is not worth it, especially now he gave up the lane priority to the top laner of VGA chip. Gave him free CS, let him bounce the wave as well. So actually gave up a lot in terms of laning in the top lane.
Definitely a mistake not coming in from a flank. There's no real point going for the teleport players if you don't have some form of a flank, because you're just not going to get anything.
That teleport is very good if you have a Leona. Leona can hide from straight like ahead, but with a Braum in your team, what is going to happen? You can't get on top of the enemy team, so that's a problem.
Particularly pre-6. That Ron OP was going to do absolutely nothing there. And it's the VCS, so we have to have a pause.
Hey, the first pause of the week. We'll probably experience a few more.
Game.
Let's hope for not too many.
Oh, not great.
Well, it's great to see the stream quality improve. If you followed us last week, we struggled a lot in the last series. We were contemplating shutting down the stream because we were pretty tilted from the quality that was just not there. Luckily today, a little bit better. Actually, a lot better. A little bit is an understatement if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, we've gone from a stable 2 frames per minute to a watchable stream, so that's always good.
Great improvement.
Hopefully this pause doesn't take too long. I'm going to use the pause to address chat. The emote's coming, okay? There's a process. It has to get approved. Give us a bit.
That is very true, yeah. And 10 more subscribers, and they can get even more emotes. So just go ahead and subscribe to us. It's
if you let me take over. Just you guys know that if you want really good delivery from Amazon, you can get Amazon Prime, and what that lets you do is get Twitch Prime. And if you have Twitch Prime, you can subscribe to your favorite Vietnamese English casting channel. That's all you can subscribe to. There's no other option. So go ahead and drop your Twitch Primes, sell out Sam. Of course, just joking. You don't need to. But regardless, let's hope this pause is over, and it is. Just in time. There we go.
Perfect. Perfect timing. Just got in one ad for ourselves. Thank you, VCS.
Exactly. They're just letting us get a little bit of self-plugging in as we go back into the game. 500 gold lead for Adonis. Mostly from the mid lane. Not really being equal, and the first blood, of course. But the mid lane going pretty well. Is actually... What? Shelly?
Shelly?
You okay?
Go home. You're drunk. Okay, Shelly. She got very angry there. Look at the item difference between... Oh, no, there it is. Okay, never mind. Me, Artemis actually picked up a few items now. So there was a BS sword against only Cull. That's not a state you want to fight in. But now he finished his BS sword on his own. So a little bit more fighting power on the side of Artemis. He's still a little bit in a disadvantage in terms of the pure stats, right? More swords on the side of Vid, 2 Duran's blades as well.
Yep. That Cull still providing absolutely nothing so far. Fantastic item that we love to see built.
And this is actually a situation where I kind of where I think it's fine to build Cull. You know, I hate Cull with a passion, but it's kind of it's okay. You get 200 gold extra.
Oh, the flash forward here, so much damage being done straight onto Zhu Hao. He goes down without a second to react. They could follow up gank, dive, I should say, onto LL, but without a wave and Shelly going down.
Yeah, he has flash available dominance as well. It's too risky. Also, you got what you came for, and you get even. LL can't really defend against 3 people here, So another plating, maybe even... Okay, they actually want to go for the dive.
They will, and LL's taken a lot of damage here. Flashes forward. Don't know about that one. Was probably just trying to get the heal from Cull the Meek, but it wasn't going to be very much. Down he goes. 2 kills for VGA. Looking pretty good here in game 2.
Okay, I apologize for calling that he can't die there, but I think he was fine if he actually played this a little bit better.
Yep.
He could have flashed away from the enemy. He could have flashed the cocoon as well, which is the... could he? No, I think he can't. He couldn't there because he got engaged by BO into insta-cocoon. He could have still tried to flash away, activate Dominus a little bit earlier. So
I feel like he could have backed off as well.
Yeah, that too.
Like, he could have just walked away from the tower.
Like, with no unrealistic expectations, please.
Yeah, true. Let's be real. Let's be real.
So with a very good early game on the Elite, first pick Elite so far paying off, right? And I'm super impressed with Biob in the whole series. I think his Leona very on point. It's all the important solar flares and zenith blades as well. And
LL going very far full. I honestly thought he was so far forward there that I thought he was on Adonis. That's why I didn't say anything. I thought he was just Adonis's.
So 4-0 for VGA this time. We started 4-0 for Cerberus, but Cerberus at least keeps a little bit better in gold this time compared to Adonis. Adonis was more than 2k behind after 4-0, so better laning from Cerberus compared to Adonis, but they still die way too much.
Yeah, that they do. LL not doing what he needs to do from... Oh, there we go, though. Zhuhao getting a good belly bop into the party barrel. Ron OP blocking the whole culling out, but another beautiful solar flare from Biob. Ron OP has to go into the stopwatch to survive, and there's the shutdown onto Y1, and it's turned on its head. A good start there by Adonis is cleaned up because Braum blocked so much damage.
Yeah, nice play from Ron OP, redeeming himself for his early. So probably needs 1-2 more redeeming plays to be equal, but yeah, nice start for him, and 2 kills for Cerberus, snowballing into Dragon as well. So now 2 dragons for Cerberus. If they can win the next few fights, they might actually look at a very quick Infernal Soul, which is always a nice thing to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Infernal Soul, I think, rated by most as the second most powerful. Definitely not instant game winning like Ocean, but still a very big boon. Especially on someone like Cassiopeia.
Actually not great on Cerberus' comp, I'd say. They have no poke whatsoever, and Infernal Soul is strong if you have poke.
True. I think it's very good in team fights on Cassiopeia, though. A lot of damage.
That's a good point. I mean, it's good in team fights for everyone, right? It's a lot of damage for Artemis as well. But yeah, they would have liked the Ocean Soul, but who doesn't, right? Ocean Soul is just broken.
Absolutely. Look at Ron OP just blocking the damage out here. Yado not with the best ult ever.
Very good flash from Ron OP.
Yeah, just well done by Cerberus in general there as they snowball things forward. Very well done.
Yeah, and now back to 1k gold difference, which is okay to have right now. We haven't actually talked too much about scaling in this game, as we focused a lot on scaling in the last game. This one, way more even, in my opinion. They're still Renekton in the top lane who gets outscaled by the enemy top laner. But you also have a slight scaling advantage in bot lane.
Oh, here comes the dive. The bullet type and the solar flare does draw the teleport. Pretty big win there. Oh, the teleport got interrupted? I'm not sure. No, LL was there.
Way more damage.
Yeah.
That actually didn't do any damage. Surprising.
But they got the teleport, which is worth the 2 ultimate cooldowns for sure. They now have teleport advantage on Chip, as he's actually managed to fight his way back into the top lane matchup pretty well.
Yeah, he avoided LL for most of the mid game. It's actually back to almost even in creeps, which did not look like it was possible in the laning phase.
Y1 hits the cocoon. Interesting spiderling placement, but it works out. As we should see this tower going down. VGA now with 2 structures to their name. Artemis taking so much damage, I should say.
Ooh.
Has to use that Zyra, would have died, but there's the bind. Lucian is locked up here. PHT charging forward, and down he goes. Sorry, I should say Yado charging forward onto PHT. And down goes PHT.
That's
Just
such
too
a field spread,
aggressive.
man. Yeah, too aggressive for PhD. He wanted to get more advantages for his team. Didn't look at the map, or actually didn't have any vision. So, I guess should have been a little bit more careful there. And also without his flash, I'm not sure if he can ever get the kill there on Artemis. To be fair, Artemis has had ult available. It's valuable to poke out the enemy ADC, but maybe not by overextending into the enemy team.
Yeah, a little bit. Ooh, bad solar flare there. BR, but with a rare mistake. Predator is popped. Zhuhao could potentially
Wait,
try and engage.
we are.
He
I
completely
was
desynced.
no. I just realized we gave the MVP to Biop. We meant Ronopi in the last game, obviously.
Oh, of course we
meant the
did. Yeah.
support
Oh
for
my god. Of
servers.
course we did.
Yeah.
Wow. We must have looked very silly. No, of course Rono P got MVP. Not Biob at all. Biob had a pretty good game so far though, as this is Shirley being started up. Actually, it might be Shirley. I'm not sure if an earlier Herald was picked up. But regardless, it is Rift Herald. As VGA are trying to get out of there, they might have just leashed it for Cerberus. Biob getting knocked in, does have the stopwatch, could potentially try and find a way out. So tanky with the Aftershock. There's a big bullet time. Rono P not able to block out everything. Artemis caught on the wrong side of the tracks, is shut down. Chips just come out of the Death Realm, and he might try and make the actual Rift into his realm as he gets that big shield. Does go down in the end. Yado charging forward here. The health bars are so low for VGA. 3 of them are dead. Yado continuing to slither on forward, but won't be able to find anything more unless Vit. Oh my god.
Very good movement from Yado in the team fights. I'm impressed with this because it's one of his favorite champs, obviously. So we should expect great things from him, but nice movement. He's dodging almost all the skill shots he needs to worry about. So 3-0-3. Not easy to stay deathless on Cassiopeia.
Yeah.
Didn't have to use any summoner spells there. So in the end, it's a 2-for-1 for Cerberus.
Not
so
not
4-0 on the side of Wit, who's very strong right now, but advantage is more in favor of Cerberus, I'd say, even though gold is still very even.
Yeah, the big problem is that Vit, so much of his damage can just be neutralized by Rono P pressing E, and this is why you really can't pick MF into Braum. It's such a hard counter that despite this 4-0 MF, you have to favor Yado being able to carry a fight over Vit. So
I kind of agree with VGA's judgment here. They need to
down
contest
goes
this
the
one.
Dragon. Rono P taking a lot of damage. In goes Y1, knocked forward by the party barrel. LL could go down immediately. Zhuhao as well, taking so much damage. No, LL gets the heal, manages to last just a little bit long enough. Yado on the side here, not taking any focus, as Rono P has died, as has LL.
Yado needs to carry this.
Yado needs to do so much damage, or are they just going to back off, take the lost fight, but at least they picked up the Dragon.
Okay, that's okay for Cerberus. They'll lose a lot of standing gold though, and they lost a lot of gold in terms of kills. Well, 3 kills going over to VGA for only 1 kill in response on the side of Cerberus. So now a good advantage secured for VGA. They need to snowball this advantage in the next 5 minutes to get the 100% secure position on the Infernal Drake, because if the Infernal Drake goes over to Cerberus, 2k gold lead is not enough to equalize the Infernal Drake advantage, Infernal Soul advantage, I should say.
No, absolutely not. As this is definitely this is the same Herald. It didn't go down earlier.
It's still the same. We still don't know if it's Shirley or Shelly. I really like the idea of giving them a little bit different color scheme.
Give cool. Like Shirley, or give Shirley like a little bow. Let her be pretty. But it has been picked up regardless. Y1 holding on to that one. It's not super valuable at this point in the game. It is 19.5 minutes. No tower plates to get, but could be used to just crack open an inner turret, potentially. In fact, that's the only option, as there are no outers remaining on the side of Cerberus.
Yeah.
I think what the next big point of contention will be, I think it has to be that Infernal Drake. VGA can't give up the soul this early.
No,
PHT has really a flank here, the bullet time being used. So Artemis will answer with his ult, completely caught. Rono P goes flying, gets flown in on. God, I'm getting these names completely wrong. Biob and Rono P, apparently the same person to me. And that's a very quick 2 kills picked up by VGA. really getting themselves in a good position to have the gold lead to contest the Dragon Soul.
And PhD once again looking super strong in the mid lane position. We talked about both mid laners being kind of the stars of the team. Maybe for Cerberus, there are a few more stars coming in, with Artemis coming over, stepping out of the shadow of Slater. We have LL being one of the
Baron
promising
being
top laners.
started here.
Oh, in
They're
full
on vision. Like, they're on a control ward. The collapse should be coming, but Artemis and Ron OP are very far away. This is going to be very difficult to stop. Zhu Hao is here. Can he get in? No, he'll be zoned by PHT. He's using the barrel and the body slam. He's gone into the Death Realm. There is no jungler to steal here. He's in the Death Realm, though. This is just going to go down. He's only just come out of Mordekaiser ult, and that's a free Baron for VGA. They're going to take so much damage in this choke. Chip will go down. Yado coming forward. He has to carry these fights. PHT doing really well to dodge away from the Cull the Meek. Down goes the Miasma. LL, don't turn around to hit a minion. You need to get the hell out. You are so low. He goes in, does actually do some decent damage, but gets caught up by the Leona. Will go down. No, he actually manages to limp away. Biob will go down, of course. Artemis not harassed at all on the side. How are they getting out of this one? Look at the health bars.
Yeah. Super fortunate for the side of Cerberus, but in the end, they Baron, right? And now they're in a big
Baron
trouble
and
with the
Herald.
spawning as well.
But look at the TP. Artemis throws his ult out just to dodge some damage, and now the melting is coming. Cerberus should be able to fire back. This teleport is ill-advised. Chip, you need to run, son! As he's caught now. LL on his tail. The flash is used, and LL will break off the chase. Didn't want to run into PHT. And it is the inner tower being picked up.
Fair play to Chip. He thought it's too easy to win this game, so let's just waste all the summoner spells we have.
Yep.
But in the meantime, PhT picked up another turret in the mid lane. PhT is two items already secured for him. He's level 14, highest level in the game. Yeah, it is. So he might be the primary carry now for this team, especially with MF struggling to fight against the Braum as well. But there's a potential for MF to just slice through all of Cerberus, especially if Chip is able to remove a Ron P from the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I do want to comment on is a very good Mordekaiser ult. It's super obvious. Like, as soon as the new Mordekaiser was revealed, people were like, wow, you just ult the jungler around Baron. But so often players don't do it. Very happy to see Chip just instantly ult Zhu Hao. Didn't even really fight him. He just sat on the safe end of his ult and said, I don't need to kill you. I'm going to get Baron. And he got out. But here is this Infernal Drake being started. This is huge if Cerberus can get it. The Make It Rain being used.
VGA needs to team fight. Don't risk the steal.
They need to go
please.
in. VGA needs to turn and take the fight. Chip doing a lot of damage. LL in the backline. Could take out Y1. The jungler's dead. And it's on top of the objective. But it doesn't matter.
Look at
PHT is doing so much. He's doing so much damage. Yado is still up and on full health. Could get it going. Here comes those Cassiopeia E's. But he's got a Lucian on top of him. The barrier comes in from the Seraphs. This is a battle of the carries. And I think Yado's going to win it. The triple kill for PHT is not going to be enough as Vit gets the last kill!
Oh!
It's 9 players dead! The rift is littered with corpses! And Vit will be able to solo the Drake out.
Oh man, Yado didn't hit the crucial poison there, so actually no damage. Had enough get the 1v1 kill. And secures the very important Infernal, delaying the potential Infernal Soul for Cerberus. But more importantly, another teamfight victory for VGA, although a very close one. And now look at the gold lead, 4k gold lead for VGA.
Yeah.
This looks like potential game 3 unfolding here. Or
potentially. There is still the break point of the next dragon, though.
Absolutely.
Obviously not as ideal, but Cerberus has this the whole game now.
It'll always be there. And Yado is stepping up. He'll have his flash available for the dragon fight, so I'd like to see play from VGA on Yado once again. Still doesn't have any summoner spells available. Will soon get his cleanse back, but cleanse shouldn't be enough to escape all the onslaught for VGA. So try to get another pick on him. It's not easy. It's 9-1 Cassiopeia with 3 items and cleanse available. So
I actually wouldn't mind seeing a QSS coming in, because I think we might get to the stage where Chip just ults him every fight.
I think Chip will just instantly die against him, though.
Well, yeah, sure, but you still lock him in the death realm for a little bit and
That's good.
let
That's a good point.
PHT
Yeah.
carry the fight. Like Mordekaiser's building towards the Zonyas, he can just ult and then take a bit of damage and then just press his Zonyas. And well, what can Yado do during when he's golden?
Yeah, I'd really like to see that as well. Yeah. So
Um,
it's Cassiopeia, so she has the item slot for the QSS without having to build boots. She can just go into QSS as well. I'm quite confused. He does not. He did not go for the Leandris. Usually a stable in Cassiopeia builds, very very strong. Madness is super strong in Cassiopeia. She wants to do extended fights. The passive from the Leandris, so the health burn, very strong as well.
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
Artemis.
The ult is used. Cleanse also forced out.
In my opinion, Artemis looks a little bit rusty on the Zarya. You
Yeah.
don't actually use cleanse there. You use ult. Why cleanse? Ult has a way shorter cooldown. That's super weird.
Very strange. Sure. Now it is just a little bit of a lull state. Cerberus will get this mid lane, but it could be traded for the inner. They don't have Baron recall. I think they should just. Oh, it's rough because they could lose an inhib tower here.
Yep. Artemis, the only ones staying in mid lane to get the. So that's an interesting call. Can they def 4v5? Not too sure. Let's please look at the bot lane. There we go, picture in picture, and this will be
that
the first
is the
inhibitor
inhib
secured.
just going down. Artemis now, can they stop the recalls? Not even looking like they're going forward to try it, which I think is a bit of a mistake. If there had been interrupts on the recalls, no, never mind. We actually have a team fight breaking out. Can we please go to the team fight? As Zhu Hao is dead, this inhib
It's
will
only
go
one
down.
kill, though. That's not enough to secure the game victory.
Yeah.
So in the end, actually, it's an interesting call for Cerberus. Not the worst call ever. They avoided the team fights and got inhibitor for inhibitor trade, which is not bad. It's still bot lane inhibitor for mid lane inhibitor, so it's still advantage VGA, especially looking at the Baron that just spawned again. And Artemis is in a little bit of trouble, but seems like he'll get out of there.
Yep.
So in the end, it's not advantageous, but it's still a good decision. I like this. I like to see
Instantly
a lot of
starting
macro
Baron
decisions
here.
seen from
Cerberus
both
is so
teams.
far away. This is a free Baron.
Yep. Yeah. Very quick as well. So
Yep. Goodbye.
no chance.
Yeah.
And now good setup for VGA to also contest the next Infernal Drake.
That's going to be super important. Adonis is pretty heavily favored to be able to secure it. Could potentially see the 4 Infernal Drake team of VGA absolutely doing too much damage if they were able to assemble that. But that's a very long way away. I don't know if the game will quite go long enough. We need to see a Leandris out of Yado. We need to see this damage ramping up, doing a lot more. He is pretty much the sole hope for his team. Artemis can definitely scale into a threat, but at the moment he's not looking great. And this is a 9-1 Cassiopeia. You need to carry.
And you say that, but Artemis still has a lot of items. He just needs to step up play, right?
That's more what I was referring to. And here is the team fight. Rono P manages to get away with the door. LL now taking so much damage, goes golden. Yado needs to do so much. PHT is trying to shut him down. He's on such low health. Yado actually in the middle of the enemy team, and he goes straight down. This could be
This might be game.
Yep, I think this will be game. Artemis is in the death realm. Look at Y1 just waiting for him to come out. Then goes the chomp, chipped flashes forward to secure it, and VGA will take us to a game 3.
So I thought this would be a little bit of a longer game, but looking at the game time, we're still under 30 minutes. So just another decisive fight, taking a big mistake from LL and Yado. Yado tried to turn the fight there with a flash ultimate, or ult flash, I should say, the usual Cassiopeia combo. By the way, something that is very easy to do, even with bad ping.
Yep, it's very forgiving.
I think he hit like 2 people there, but he then didn't have his flash available. So if you don't insta-win the fight with Cassiopeia, with ult flash, you should have probably not ult flashed, because then no mobility left. He got caught, used his Zonyas, but didn't actually do anything there. So after a super strong game from Yado, he throws a little bit in the last team fight. I mean, one mistake is kind of understandable. You can't keep up very great play for the whole game most of the time. Even Perks last week, when he carried on LeBlanc, made 1 or 2 very bad mistakes, right?
Absolutely.
But it's a bad moment to make this mistake. Actually lost the game for his team.
That it did. So we are going to go to
Unfortunate.
a game 3, but we do have to answer the question of MVP for game 2. I think PHT looked really good on that Lucian.
He did.
He did a lot of damage.
We also had the MF doing a lot in this game.
I just think that PHT looked super crisp. In the end, I think they both shared a very equal share to win the game, but I think PHT just looked really good on the Lucian. Super clean. So that's where I'm leaning.
Yeah, Lucian a lot more flashy than MF, of course, right? So it's easier to look cool on the Lucian, but I agree. I'd like
I'm
to
also docking points. Maybe not fair to the player, but I'm docking points because picking MF without doing something about Braum is bad.
Yeah, not fair to the MF player, but
no, but
a little
bit of a team dock.
Yeah,
I'm leaning towards Lucian regardless of that, though.
Yeah, I agree with Lucian. PHT, nice game. Adonis overall with quite a good game. Mistakes here and there still.
Still a VCS team.
Absolutely. But I really like what these two teams are showing us in terms of macro decisions. They are not going purely by playbook, purely by cookie cutter plays or like the standard way of thinking. They are going for very quick Baron calls. They are going for inhibitor trades, things that you have to think of in the moment, right?
Yeah.
So
good to say.
It's good to see. Good to see some VCS teams stepping up their macro knowledge or their game knowledge and applying it in game as well.
Absolutely. But we'll have to see if they can continue applying it as we are going to Game 3 to decide this series of Adonis versus Cerberus. Who can get this first win for Week 2? We'll see you guys in about 8.5 minutes. Thanks for tuning in. See you in a bit. Welcome back for Game 3 now of VGA taking on Cerberus. Who thought we'd get here for a Game 3? I did. I predicted it. But here we go. See who can take this one. PHT does pick up the official MVP for once we align. He just had a good game on Lucian, and Lucian's a fun champion, so not too surprised.
Second game already this season on Lucian. It's on the second season. Seems to be a stable. Lucian not quite as high in priority in VCS as and I like the mid lane Lucian the most. I think he's the strongest in the mid lane. You can play him into some top lane matchups as well, but then you run into a few troubles or a few weird situations in terms of team compositions with Lucian in the top lane and don't have anything that can even remotely take a hit. So
I think top lane Lucian is very good as a flex. Like, say, if you picked a set and then got hard countered, you can flex set mid lane and just send Lucian top. I think that's where it's... Yeah. I don't think you ever want to pick Lucian for the top lane, though. I definitely agree with you on that one. But based on the camera
angles... A few matchups, maybe, for Gangplank or something. Yeah, Mordekaiser Gangplank, that's potentially like the few matchups you can go Lucian top with.
Potentially, but we are in our third champion select here tonight. Lee Sin has been removed again by Cerberus. Must know that Y1 has a bit of a filthy Lee Sin, as they've banned it every game. Want to be able to see it? Set
and Django is in.
Django is in. Chip. I don't think Chip had a particularly bad game. I think he did what he had to do. It's
weird after a win, right?
Yeah.
He struggled in laning phase, though. He struggled a lot against LL. And last week, we saw Django with a little bit of a stronger laning phase compared to Chip, even though Chip had the more impressive team impact plays or the team fight plays with his on, especially in game 1. So, interesting change. I think it kind of makes sense, especially if they fear that Chip would fall behind in lane too much against compared to LL. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Akali now being taken out, as is Lucian. They don't want to let PHT run that one back. It makes a lot of sense. Yasuo again being taken out. They must have a read that PHT is just really good on. Because it's definitely not a tier list ban.
I think he played him on the promotion tournament.
He did, and he looked very good on it. He had a very good Yasuo game.
He's
Still
definitely the
interesting.
star of this team, in my opinion. I know a lot of people to watch VIT very closely, but for me, PHT
He's
is
looked
the
really good.
rising star here for Adonis.
Yep, and once again, every ADC bar Lucian is open, and Leona is first picked. Absolutely inexplicable. I mean, Aphelios is probably going to get
Indeed.
through another draft here. So
I-
far, zero priority. I like this Gragas pick.
Gragas Braum,
Gragas
please.
Braum, yeah.
Adonis.
I like that.
Gragas Braum would be a super good rotation here. It could go Gragas Senna as well, but we know they pick Senna, so
Senna doesn't exist. Don't even joke. He's not out. But
so in terms of top lane, they could go for another Renekton
possibly, but the Elise
perform
is
quite
gone.
well for LL.
They did. Elise is gone, so it's not as good. You don't have the Renekton Elise. But he looked okay on it. Didn't actually get as much of a lead over the Mordekaiser as I would have liked. In more that he got the lead and then didn't maintain it. He made a few teleport plays that weren't great.
No.
MF being
That's
picked.
actually okay.
It's going to be a... Oh, no, of course. It can't be a Braum counter pick because Leona's already
That's
picked.
actually bad. Yeah, that's
a good
actually
pick.
a good call for Honest. Yep. I like this. I still don't quite understand the Leona first pick, but it's very good to see the...
not a fan. Not a fan of this Kiana pick. And the Xayah coming in. Aphelios.
What is Aphelios?
Look, okay, my explanation is, you know how Aphelios' tooltip is like a bloody novel? Maybe it just didn't translate very well to Vietnamese, and they just don't know. Maybe they just don't know what he does. Because I mean, I'm a caster who's
no
played
one knows,
him.
right?
Exactly. Does anyone really know what Aphelios does? And the Morgana comes in here.
Very interesting. We have not seen too much Morgana before.
Potentially just a Leona counter, but traditionally it's not actually that big a counter as you'd think, because you still travel with the E and then you just queue the person that's not black shielded. Which is a little bit tricky.
So, you reacted very strongly when they picked the Kiana, right? Yep. Kiana jungle got heavily nerfed in this patch. She lost a lot of her attack speed. We have still seen some Kiana jungle actually in pro leagues on 10.2, so it seems like she's still playable. Yeah, I'd like to see Yado on this pick, although I have to say Yado strikes me more of a control mage play. His Cassio was super good, so maybe it's another jungle Kiana paired up with a very strong laner for Yado. That's potentially where I see this draft going for Cerberus. We see Cassiopeia and Orianna banned, so...
Yep, targeting Yado makes a lot of sense, particularly that Cassiopeia. He looked very good on that. Rise, PHT has shown several Rise games, so again, making a lot of sense. These second round of bans, I'm loving it. The first ones, there were a couple whack bans, but overall it's okay. We need we need solo lanes for VGA.
Rumble seems to be not in scrim meta right now for VCS. We don't actually ever see Rumble, it seems like. Would have been a nice blind pick here. A little bit risky into Soraka, obviously. Or Soraka, one of the hard counters into Rumble. But
I get the feeling the VCS hasn't started scrimming the Soraka.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it. Maybe Gum will show us a little bit more, because Gum is usually more the team that likes to go for the more wacky picks, even though Soraka is actually quite established now on the meta, I think. So, some hopes lie on Gum, but maybe we need another week to get the Soraka scrims in.
Yeah, I think that's very, very possible.
Would still be a good last pick here, actually, for Adonis, especially if Cerberus...
and there it is. There's the Rumble. I like that a lot. That is going to be Rumble mid lane, almost certainly. We can see VGA with the chance to counter it. Not a very easy champion to counter, though, in the mid lane. Ooh, it's actually potentially mid lane Irelia, and they're going to take the Kayle? Not get baited too hard by Hovers, and it is locked in.
Interesting.
Into Aatrox. Ooh.
Okay, sounds like a very, very difficult laning phase. We've seen Noguri play the Kayle and LCK, so it's not completely unknown on this patch. Kayle's still a very strong scaler. Once she's level 6, she's fine in lane as well. First 6 levels are a big struggle. not sure how I feel about the scale last, because I feel like Adonis is kind of 200 IQ this draft. They could have gone with a way easier and more meta pick. Could have gone with Braum in the bot lane as well, just to counter the Leona. Didn't have to go for the Morgana, in my opinion. Braum is just as good at countering her.
Yep, I would actually argue Braum is better at countering her. I just think Braum's a stronger support at the moment. But I don't mind Morgana. It's a little bit of... It really leads into a potential pick style. Obviously, the relative power of the Qs between Braum and Morgana a little bit... is a little bit different. The Morgana route lasting... I don't know, you can get hit by it, maybe go to uni, get your masters, come back, and the route will be about half done. But I'm happy to see this Rumble.
Cerberus's draft, I have to say. Yeah, this Rumble is super nice to see. Mid lane Rumble, one of the strongest mid laners right now, especially if you looked at the LPL first week, it was super high priority and high win rate as well. People like Doinby played it a lot. I like this Rumble a lot. I think you can snowball top lane against the Kayle very easily. We've seen how Kales can fall behind in the top lane. I think the most prominent example is the G2 against Damwon game from Worlds, where they snowballed against the Kayle and Kayle couldn't do anything. So I'd like to see a lot of top lane focus for Cerberus. They can also go bot lane, obviously, with Rumble.
Definitely possible.
Roaming from mid lane into the bot lane. Good dive setup, especially against Morgana and not Braum. There's not as much HP and tankiness in the bot lane. So I'd like to see a 5-man bot lane dive as well, maybe at like 5-6 minutes. So a lot of potential and possibilities as well. Cerberus. I favor the draft quite heavily, I have to say.
Yeah, I agree with you with nameplates turned off. However, this is a VCS. Gragas is a lot easier than Qiyana. I'm not sure I trust Zhuhao to play Qiyana because she's a lot harder this patch. The way you cleared the jungle as Qiyana previously was tricky. It's why she had a horrifically bad solo queue win rate. She had a horrible solo queue win rate because it's actually kind of hard to clear the jungle. It's even harder now. I could potentially see invades coming in. I can see Zhuhao inting team fights, but I'm happy to be proven wrong. Zhuhao, show me up. Make me look dumb.
It's exciting to see Zhuhao try something very difficult to play, because he's more known as... I don't want to say...
simplistic.
For free junglers, but yeah, simplistic.
Which is fine.
He likes to play the Rexa, right? He's very good on the Rexa as well. So
I mean, if you know what you're good at, why change, right? You don't have to play the super flashy stuff.
Super good in meta right now, so
yeah,
why not?
Exactly. Early on, Django actually going for the trades here up against LL. Going to take a little bit of damage in response, but the early trade in the bot lane has gone in the favor of VGA. Ron OP having to pop a pot.
And I just want to point out the summoner spell here for Vid. He went with the barrier, which I think is a very smart choice, especially if Cerberus tries to go for bot lane dives, as we all expect looking at the team composition.
Yep.
Barrier can make the difference between surviving and turning around the fight and just straight up dying instantly. So like this choice, very defensive though, so I don't expect too many aggressive trades from the side of VGA.
Yeah, absolutely.
First gang already coming.
On his way down. Is he going to be able to find anything? I'm not 100% sure. We need to see a Dark Binding. There is the flash belly bop into the Dark Binding, and then they were trying to give the kill over to Vit. Made it look a little bit disjointed, but there was no chance for Artemis to get away. Good boy, Artemis. Don't burn your summoners. But a good first blood there for Vit. That makes the bot lane dive harder.
That was super good execution for Y1.
Oh, PHT making a huge mistake there, taking a tower shot and has to flash.
Yep.
As his jungler was coming in. That's a massive mistake. Lucky that Y1 was there. Well, that was a kill for Yado.
Yeah, I still want to go back to the bot lane play because
absolutely.
That was... Could have just eat, but then the reaction time would have been there for Artemis to flash away, and then it's way harder to shade the CC. So he went for the absolute point blank E stun with a flash. So no reaction time for Artemis. Very easy to chain the Q on top of that from BO3. So that was a super easy kill to lock down. Artemis had no time to react, no chance of getting out of there. Easy
Oop,
first
here we go.
for
1OP tries to go in, ends up getting Dark Binding. That's I haven't seen this skin before. That Black Shield is really pretty. There's a little bit of trade damage back.
Also, another interesting aspect about the bot lane. I'm talking about bot lane a lot this game, but there's a lot happening in bot lane. Look at the itemization from BO3. He actually went, ooh, this might be a fight.
Definitely could be. The flawless duet does miss, but the W's been used. Zhuhao can't get over the wall, but in comes Leona to save him. Zhuhao just straight up flashing over the wall. His team might need him. What's he done? Vit now, and manages to survive, will eventually go down to Artemis. 2v2, PHT and Biob have to do it all. PHT will get that little bit of damage. Triumph could come in. No, it doesn't. Now Biob needs to get out of here. There's a double kill for Artemis. Yes, oh, what a flash! That was dirty as he gets the feathers on the right side, but Biob will manage to limp away. Very well played.
A little bit more damage there. But,
he did, but still, good play.
Some very cool plays.
Double kill regardless for this Xayah. Both ADCs. Oh, Django in a bit of trouble. Has to flash. Yep, had to get away from those chains.
And another call. Oh, man. All these calls building up for the top laners.
It kind of makes sense for Kayle.
Get them out. Oh.
I feel like the problem is just he's now, like, he can just get solo killed. We saw he nearly got solo killed there. And now he's gone back and not gained any stats.
Nope.
That wasn't great. A little bit lucky for Cerberus in that play to get out of there as well as they did. Honestly, looking a little bit like robber barons after Zhuhao flashed over the wall and then had to stand there like, oh wait, should probably be team fighting. Oh no, better wait for this W.
Zhuhao was caught in a very bad spot, but now PHT, this is a very good rotation for Y1. He has to help PHT push out the wave.
Yep.
Actually gets the cannon, so he's very happy about this one. But yeah, PHT in a super bad spot right now with no flash available. He needs to be careful and has to give up a lot of CS.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this Irelia pick definitely a little bit interesting to say the least. We do see Zhuhao. This is a really bad play.
Look at Zhuhao coming back in.
Yeah, this is a really bad play.
Went back in.
Yeah. And died. Died to bit.
Nice.
Oh,
now
Zhuhao.
PHT carries this last exchange with a flawless duet. There we go.
Done.
Great. I love the name of this spell.
It's a very good play. It's a very good name. That flash from Artemis did force the trade flash, and LL has popped the wings, taking a lot of damage, and he didn't even ult. Oh no, he did ult. What? The ult was already on cooldown.
Okay, the ult was on cooldown already.
That's why they went for the play. That makes a lot of sense. And it's a very clean and easy kill there for Cerberus in the top lane. Django not looking great so far. And LL off to a good start.
I mean, he actually is keeping up in CS in this very difficult matchup. So I think in terms of laning, he's looking quite good. But yeah, it's a difficult matchup. Now he's level 6 though, so he can be way more safe undeterred. Use his ranged auto attacks. So I'd like to see another gank on the top lane. Yado maybe coming in as well. So I wanted to go back to something you said a little bit earlier, that you questioned the Irelia pick. Looking at this game, Irelia seems to be able to push on the Rumble, which is super valuable. So
very much true. I just think it's a little bit interesting meta-wise at the moment. But PHT looking pretty good on the pick so far. So sometimes skill trumps meta. Cerberus looking to blow up a blast cone. All right. Why not? Stop the jungler being able to get a bit closer. Makes sense.
Yeah. Do that in solo queue as well. If you want to play.
The Irelia ult coming out here. Can dive forward. Yado drops down the red carpet. And Zhuhao is hit. Good flash.
That was such a bad display of talent.
Yep, that was a supreme display of int.
Indeed. Wow, Zhuhao not looking too comfortable on this Kiana. And it's interesting in which spots it comes in, right? And you thought, or I thought as well, that he would struggle in the jungle, clearing the jungle with the new Kiana changes. He's actually doing fine in that aspect. But his place on the Kiana when it comes to fighting against enemy champs, not too crisp.
Yeah, so far looking a little bit iffy. Hopefully he can redeem himself when the big team fights begin. Y1 now looking up towards top lane, but LL sees him coming a mile away. I love the walk for Aatrox in that, particularly in that skin. Just has a bit of the swagger as he gets out. Doing well.
And I'm still impressed with Django's laning phase. Django, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Kind of confused why LL is not able to punish him more, especially early on. Django now actually almost 10 creeps ahead. Obviously, there's a wave still to be collected for LL, so it's more like 2-3 CS, but still impressive. And it's no stat Kayle doing okay against one of the strongest, or at least a very strong early laner in Aatrox.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's done very, very well to even have this minor CS lead up here despite his death. Looking really, really good is Django. Maybe we see why he's coming in instead of Chip. Especially maybe if they thought that they were going to pick this scaling pick of Kayle, made the tactical decision to bring in the other top laner.
Yeah, and I think after watching these two top laners, it's a little bit of a sword against Doran thing here going on for VGA. More of the team fighting player in sword and Chip.
I think that's a bit rude to Chip. The shutdown does come in the mid lane. PHT goes down, but does get the trade kill. Not very well played at all by Cerberus there. That did not need to be a trade kill.
Yeah, they still got the shutdown and the assist, so it's still worth for them
it's
as
worth,
well
but...
as lane per. But yeah, you're right. Not great. Also, PHT has teleports, so you can actually get back to lane.
Biob in a bit of trouble here. Artemis flashing forward, wants to get that final hit. Vit now in the middle of the solar flare. Really well done by Rono P. Looking very good on this Leona. Up into the air goes Artemis, trying to do what he can. Actually does use the feathers really well there onto PHT. Artemis has got to get out of there. Well done. Whatever bopped him back there. I'm not even 100% sure what that was. Django now, Aatrox it was, in a lot of trouble, and smack down comes the sword. And Kayle, back off to heaven with you.
That was... I think VGA once again misread the situation there. Went too aggro. Should have just tried to back off after losing BO, but they tried to extend the fight. Teleport came in from PHT and from Django. Big outplay from the side of Artemis as well. I really liked how aggressively he played his Zarya here. And got on top of Vit and Biob very quickly. Got 2 of the kills once again. So 1 kill only going over to Django. Very good exchange for Cerberus overall. And now 1k gold in the lead.
Yeah, that we are. We are going to have a look at this bot lane fight. It was Biob just getting completely caught out there. The Black Shield knocked it. Yeah, that was
without
not
Black
good.
Shield.
Artemis.
Now look at this solar flare. Nicely done. Also a little bad step in the wrong direction for Vit. He tries to flash out of the feathers, but still gets hit. And Rono P also follows up. There it is, the bot that actually stopped the blade surge from the Iridia. Nicely done from LL. Not sure if it was really intentional, but looked cool. And possibly prevented 1 more kill from going to the side of VGA. So nice interaction for Cerberus. They need to be a little bit careful not to get too ahead of themselves, because a few times this series we've seen them get a lot of kills and then be a little bit too overzealous and die again.
Rift Herald is summoned up here in the top lane. VGA getting the hell out of there as the supreme display of missing comes in. And there is the party barrel knocking him back. And Y1 just says, all right, man, I'll take a kill. That was such a bad Kiana ult. That was never hitting anything. Yeah, again, I did say I wasn't 100% sure about Juhao on this one. But here comes the turn. Y1 is on top of the red carpet. Yado gets a free kill there. Way too over-aggressive from Y1. They should have known Yado was on the way. Did not need to go forward there.
Yeah. And in the end, they still prevent the turret from falling first. But there's still a lot of gold on Cerberus side. Only 1k gold lead still. But yeah, it looks definitely in the driver's seat right now. Cerberus, that is. Which is actually okay if you look at the composition. You don't need to accelerate. They have the Kale, they scale into the late game. They have a very strong Irelia as well, who will outscale, especially in side lane against the Rumble. So
there is,
it's an
however,
okay state for VGA.
Xayah is on the side of CES and very strong.
I personally think MF is that much weaker. She has, especially when it comes to damage. She has less control in team fights. She can make less flashy plays, right? She can't really outplay anyone. But if you just look at the damage, late game MF deals a lot of damage.
Absolutely.
Nice cask as well from V1.
Yep, very well done by Y1. Just unfortunately that he just got a little bit over aggressive, got a little bit of blood in his nose.
This is such a typical VCS play.
Just didn't need to happen. Did not need to happen. He didn't have ult. What was he ever going to do?
I'm not sure. I think he thought about flashing. And he just eat in and didn't flash, so then it was just dead and used his flash at the end. So everything was bad about the last part of the play.
It might have been
unfortunate after.
He might have been drinking from his own cask a little bit.
Yeah.
The side lane is developing. It's looking like a bit of a 1-3-1 here for VGA, matched by the 1-4 of Cerberus. See if Cerberus can force anything around their numbers. There's actually no TPs here for Cerberus. For VGA. They could try and do something. The red carpet does very little. I'm not sure you need to be taking those. Those auto attacks don't do very much. Django up in the top lane is level 11. This Kale beginning to get a little bit scary.
Yeah, he has had a lot of time farming minions and level 11
PhD,
highest level in the game.
A little bit caught out. There is the Irelia ult used to get the free dash forward. Another very average Kiana ult. Juhao will go down.
Juhao is throwing away this game for Cerberus. It's dangerous. They can't give up any more kills to the enemy solo laners, especially. If Irelia is stronger than both solo laners on the other side, Kale will get stronger than especially the Rumble as well. This could just be a 1-3-1 suffocating victory for VGA, where they just never never go into deep fights.
Yep, absolutely. But here is Artemis a little bit caught out, uses that heal movement speed to get out of there. Well done. Probably don't recall in that bush, but he gets around the corner. Very well done. And I hate to say it, but I saw that Kiana pick and I went, oh no. Here we are with a 1-4 Kiana with some shocker ults. I want to see this one again.
Look at this play again.
Oh, it gets him away from the wall and just dies.
It's so ugly. It's so ugly.
That is a supreme display of skill, to say nothing. It's a supreme display of skill. There's just not much skill to display.
Yeah,
very unfortunate.
Not a whole lot to display there.
Yep.
We've actually not touched on the Ocean route approaching. We have Ocean Soul potentially on the cards, which favors Cerberus, I would say. I think Ocean Soul always favors the team that has the more early game composition, because it's the only soul that can actually end games on its own.
Yeah, it's Exodia. It just wins the game. The red carpet is out, and it's another supreme display of talent. This one actually hits a target. That's a first. Biob does manage to survive, though. Uses the stopwatch and the flash. Well done.
And it's still a lot of time for Django to just work on the turret. He doesn't really have a whole lot of stats yet. It actually takes him a lot of time to get the turret. But he gets more experience, more gold, 140 CS, well and truly online.
Yeah, absolutely. As Juhao manages to get away there, did take a fair bit of damage. Biob is still bleeding. LL gets away, no trouble. Django is chasing here, and here's PhD coming from the river. The Irelia ult is down. LL should be going down, absolutely no problem. The shutdown picked up by the Irelia. There's the Kale ult and the solar flare being used. Artemis lucky to get that bind, and he does flash away.
I want to see more Kale Irelia in the late game. I think that's a nation.
Yeah.
And it already looks like the game is turning in VGA's favor again. More like 55% VGA, 45% Cerberus. Looking at the scaling, especially. Maybe even a little bit more, maybe even 60-40. There are still good options for Cerberus. They can look for flanks on the Aatrox, who's in a very strong spot right now. But with the Kiana being completely useless, and Rumble actually not finding too many great ults, it does look like VGA is in a little bit more of a power position.
Yeah, VGA looking really good so far. The gold is incredibly close, which, again, favours the scaling team for sure. Kale doesn't really need that level 16 as much as she used to. Obviously, there was that shift a while ago.
Yeah.
Some of her power being moved a little bit early because she was so ridiculously binary. It's a good change. So Django is already in a pretty strong position, has the Gunblade, and as we know, if the champion builds Gunblade, it's broken on them.
Yep. And he's also being playing a great game.
Yep, he has. He's looked
As we
really good.
just saw, when he knew exactly when to back off from the turret. He still got the turret gold as well. Recall just in time to not get caught. So great awareness, was absolutely able to spot the enemy team and not go down. So looking very strong. And PhD on the other side of the map. I love this setup. It's so great to see the VCS team actually trying to play 1-3-1 setup and being quite successful so far. Actually ahead now in gold for
Yeah,
VGA.
shockingly enough, it's actually a pretty good way to play the game. So when you can pull it off, you can develop some leads. And I completely concur with you. It's great to see the VCS maturing their macro a bit.
I have to say, I'm just super impressed with VGA.
Yeah,
We talked about them before the league started. We all thought they would be just dead last, being
don't even play.
potentially even
Just give them.
0-14 or something.
Yep. I mean, we've got some big old chicken egg on our face. Not looking great.
Absolutely.
And
Dead.
Tiana's dad just pushed around the side for absolutely no reason while your team took the tower. Why were you there, Zhu Hao? And the red
PhD
carpet
might
comes
be
down, a
caught.
lot of damage. PhD does throw out the ult, does not have the flash away, but will get the free dash onto LL. There's the bullet time. It's doing so much damage. Charging forward. I don't know if they have any more follow-up. The feathers will lock them down for long enough, but they're just going to start the Baron up. They've got Django. That's still
they have a lot of damage on the Baron. Yeah.
The Cerberus
Smite
are
is
looking
available
scarce.
as well.
Y1 is super low. That's the big danger here. There's no Rumble ult. There is a Kiana ult. And Zhu Hao is motoring there.
As well.
Yep, just get out. I like this. By VGA, there is absolutely no reason to take that risk there.
Also, it's not actually too bad to just check how the Baron looks right now, right? Yeah. So they definitely confirmed, okay, Baron is too dangerous to take, especially if 4 enemies are still alive. Or so it does a little bit too much damage. We don't have the tank, so we need a few more items, a little bit more DPS, a little bit more lifesteal potentially as well on Vid to get the Baron down. But it's good to check in, and they didn't actually lose anything here. So they wanted to reset anyway. So yeah. Not the worst of times to just check your Baron damage.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, especially when you know the enemy jungler is nowhere close, so nothing insane could happen because it is Diana. You weren't going to get Supreme displayed of balanced in the Baron pit as Ron OP takes a lot of damage. Did get bound up. The Solar Flare comes in. Yado charging forward with the Flame Spitter, burning them alive. Ron OP flashing forward does pick up Y1. Vit taking all the damage in the world, uses bullet time, but it's not going to do anything. BO3 now caught out. This was a completely unnecessary fight. And it's three kills. Yeah, Leona looking tanky.
Showing once again.
Absolutely. They're just going to start this Baron up. This is free.
Yeah, this is just straight up Baron for the side of Cerberus. Y1 is dead. Django is nowhere close. So, yeah, just a free Baron for Cerberus. Very good collapse on the enemy. Very squishy champs. It's the best potential 3 you can collapse on. There's no big CC, no big Kale ult to delay the fight. So, nice opportunity seen from Cerberus and also executed on. They now need to do something with this Baron. Very nice for them. Baron timing is will cover for the next Ocean Drake to spawn. So as I said before, Ocean is what they want to play through. They want to get the Ocean Soul and just win team fights with Ocean Soul. So I think VGA will just probably try to push out lanes, give the Ocean up, maybe fight a little bit to delay the Ocean a little bit more, and then try to regroup and go for the big team fight around the next Ocean Dragon spawning, which will be in like 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting onto Ocean Drake point is super, super important. Really nice solar flare. This was just really well done by Cerberus. Just saw the opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. They just saw the opportunity and said, well, why not?
Yep. Nicely done. Also, no flash on the MF. They knew that. And Black Shield was late, so little bit of a fail on Biop's side, and Vid didn't have his flash available, so no chance for him to get out.
Yep,
Now,
Cerberus
actually,
pushing in here, does have Baron around this inhib. Artemis doing a lot of damage, and there is finally a supreme display of talent that actually does a little bit. Vit forced back by Artemis under the tower, and they're going to push it in. Solar Flare being used just to buy them a bit of time. Out comes the
inhibitor might be
Irelia
dangerous,
ult.
though.
No, they're just going to back off. They broke the base. That's enough.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think inhibitor would have been a little bit too dangerous with no Rumble, no Kiana ult, also no Aatrox ult, and the enemy team just coming out fresh out of the base once again. So good call once again from Cerberus, acknowledging the fact that they could not go for the inhibitor and should rather go for the second Ocean Drake.
Yeah, there it is. The barrel coming in, being used, I'm not 100% sure what for, potentially just to stop a flank. But that is now on cooldown. But it should be the mid lane outer finally being broken.
It's a very high-paced game. Both teams
Absolutely.
are just doing, trying to go for whatever they can in a very small time spans when the enemy team does something else. So it's, I would say, a quite high-level gameplay for VCS game. Both teams are very aware of what objectives they can go for. Obviously, we still see many individual mistakes and positioning mistakes as well. But I think if you just look at the macros perspective from both teams, it's actually quite a good game to watch here.
Yeah, this is super good. I'm loving that we're seeing Django and PHT in the side lanes constantly, trying to get this Kayle to the late game avenging Angel.
2 levels from 16.
Yep, 2 levels from 16. Fun fact, obviously there is the item Seraph's Embrace. Kayle at the moment is a Seraph. What that kind of angel with the 4 wings is called, by the way. A little bit of biblical lore for us Christians out there. But the push is coming in from Cerberus. They're looking for this bot lane inner. Artemis has to use the ult there, but PHT flying forward. Huge flawless duet there. Flashes over the wall to get onto Artemis, and the E will not land from Ron OP. He's going forward here. I don't know about that one, PHT. You could have just gotten out, and now LL charging forward on this Aatrox. Goes into the stasis. Ooh, the Kiana ult with the instant response from Django. Really, really well done there, and everyone's going golden.
Everyone is golden.
It's a party. And down goes Yado. Huge win here for VGA, a 3-for-1.
That wasn't actually the best possible outcome for VGA there. PHT thought he had Django's back, so Django was pushed back by a stun, I think from Leona ult, if I remember correctly.
Something. We'll
see that in the replay again. So not actually the perfect fight, and they still won it quite handily. So I think it might just be over for Cerberus' chances. They need the next Ocean Drake. It's the best way for them to win this game.
I want to shout out, and I'm sure we'll see it in the replay, Django's ult was absolutely sick. There was one, the Kiana ult came in, and Kiana ult's very, very quick. And he instantly, we'll see it here. That was a really good flawless duet. PhD playing so well.
Yeah, and Django got stopped by a very good feather call, once again, Blade call.
LL doing everything he could there, but he's just a little bit 1v4. And look at that ult from Django. No damage being dealt.
Great kill ult.
Yeah. Everyone goes golden. It's a party. But it won't
good timing from Biop as well. Nice to see him recover a little bit from earlier. Okay, nice.
Yep, Django's just dead. Okay.
Ronapi's still on top of his game. He had a very good first Leona game and still looking super good.
Very, very. Ronope flashing.
Okay, cast cursed him there.
little bit, but they should be able to get this inhibitor regardless. I don't think VGA will be able to defend it without their Kayle. A lot of damage there onto Artemis, but it's not going to matter. Didn't knock him into the team. And this is a little bit of a break point here for Cerberus. They do have that inhibitor 1 minute and 20 seconds before they can attempt to draw their last pathetic card.
Oh no, Y1.
Oh, Y1 completely caught.
Really
oh, no. Supreme display of balance. This, I don't know why they're chasing PHT. They don't need to. Just end.
Yes,
Django having to TP. Yeah, good. Just leave LL. This is good. Just interrupt the recall. He doesn't even need to commit to a fight. Artemis goes down though to Django. Really well done by him, but he's going to go down. They could end the game.
Yeah, they
20-second respawns. PHT can't get away. We might be able to get away there unless there is the dash
Teleport.
forward. He's
Use
going to
your
teleport, but
thank
there's
you,
the
thank you.
Aatrox Q. Oh, what?
What happened?
He used the E.
Eh,
What?
But the Q hit?
No, the first Q didn't hit. It was just short of the sweet spot, but the second one should have.
Really?
The second one
Holy.
didn't hit because he dashed.
Oh, man.
It was dead on target. The first one, fine.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. This should have been the game victory.
The game was over.
Yeah. And Django also with a hero play in base. If we get another look at how he killed Artemis,
I think he
the
just
most crucial member pushing down the... Probably just dived face first into him with his ult and just used the invulnerability to kill him. Riley's built up. But now, the Ocean Soul might just be picked up. Okay.
Yep, if they're going to get Ocean Soul, they are going to prove that their grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards as they draw the last leg of the Forbidden One. Exodia will obliterate. The Ocean Soul's being picked up. Almost impossible to win now for VGA. I maintain that Ocean Soul is basically unbeatable.
I've not seen Ocean Soul losing in competitive yet. I'm not sure if it happened already.
PHT taking a lot of damage. Yeah, I have not seen it, and I can't imagine it happening. It is such a ridiculously powerful buff. To see if VGA can beat the odds, but here they go. Ron OP charging his way in, but PHT will Artemis try and do it. Artemis, well done, using that ult to get away. Zhu Hao actually with a very good Kiana ult there. Django is going to be caught out. The ult was not up, and here we go. Cerberus, look at the healing. It just doesn't matter what VGA does. Y1 did his best, but it's just not going to matter. There's too much healing, and Cerberus, very shortly, I'm sure, if they don't screw up ending once again, we'll be taking this series, the first series of tonight, over VGA. A scrappy game with a lot of mistakes, but a lot of good plays too.
Yep. I really like this game. Potentially the most fun games of
I agree.
Season. I mean, the AP Shyvana, also Cerberus, actually playing that game against Gum was fun to watch as well. But this one, a little bit more of a serious game. And Cerberus will be able to finish this game off a little over 31 minutes.
Just go for a little bit of KDA panic. Don't just wait too long, boys. And there they go, knocking down the Nexus. And Cerberus taking it 2-1. My prediction. Thanks, lads, for the 3 points.
As I fall farther and farther behind. But that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
I believed in Adonis, and I still like Adonis.
I think they looked good.
They played a great game.
Yeah, I don't think they played badly. They played to the level of Cerberus, but they just lost in the end. So, overall, good performance by both teams. Liked the macro a lot. Some of the micro was not great. But that's easier to fix than the macro, I think. Just a bad day from some of the players when it came to mechanics. But the macro looked really good from both teams.
Absolutely.
We have to ask the question. MVP for the final game.
Very difficult decision here.
I agree. LL
One
did
of the
a
two
lot
bot
of
laners?
damage. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we have to go to the bot lane person.
Zhu Hao redeemed himself a little bit in the late game. Nowhere close to MVP.
Still can't get an MVP.
Yado messed up a few of the early plays against this enemy mid laner.
There was no huge equalizers either. I'm leaning towards Ron OP.
I think he had a very good game once again on the Leon.
Yeah, I think giving him 2 MVPs this series, I'm happy for it. Did misspeak in game 1. B-Hob didn't get. B-Hob did not get MVP. Artemis played well.
Artemis. He had the one big outplay in the bot lane. His team fight impact actually didn't look too great, though. I think Ron OP was a little bit more. So,
okay. Yep,
yeah, Ron OP double MVP today. Double support MVP. That's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you're absolutely loving that one. Your role being
just
represented very strongly. Yeah, but that's not a support pick.
That's true.
But it was Cerberus picking this up 2-1. We will be back in a little while. It's probably only about half an hour because it was a 3-game series. Probably not even that long. But I have been Everyday. With me has been Yulwei. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope to see you.
Grab
Stick
something to
around.
eat,
Yep.
something to drink, and then it's Gum against EVOS,
Should be a
potentially the
great
most
series.
hype game of the week. Should be a great series. Second look on Gum, second look on EVOS. Both came in with both come from a victory in the first week. So let's see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Half
We
an hour.
hope to see you guys there in probably about half an hour. There'll be a timer on screen. Don't you worry. See you guys in a little bit. Thanks for watching.